Be good for the Rams. That will certainly help the offenses playing in front of the home crowd for the first time.
Oh, it definitely helps when you come back. You know, they were really up for the game last week. Came out of there with a real slim margin victory. But whenever you play in front of a home crowd and you got all the people here supporting, you got great weather, and it's just a big plus on your side.
I would say some of the people to watch this evening that we haven't had the chance to see much from this season would be the two wide receivers, Danny Cisco and Steven Smith. A lot of speed here. They can really break some plays tonight.
We talked to both of those yesterday at the community pep rally, and they really were disappointed in some of their efforts last week, and they said that, you know, make sure you watch us this week because they have something in store for the Mount Zion team.
And we'll get a chance to see that about 7:30 this evening here from Homer Sharp Stadium. If you are in the listening area and you can make it by here, please do for the Rams home opener. You'll be treated to some exciting football. That's the way Newton Ram football is going to run yet again here in 1995. Now, when we come back on the Tailgate Show, Todd Q. Chapman is going to take you inside the numbers. Yes, folks, time to put on your football gear. It's Newton Ram football, the Newton Ram Tailgate Show on WGFS AM 1430.
The Farm and Garden Depot is your headquarters for feed and seed. The Farm and Garden Depot at 4125 Emory Street has most all of the fall grass seed, including wheat, rye, and clover. They also have fall deer mix, squirrel corn, and deer corn. The Farm and Garden Depot is located on Emory Street across from the depot. Call them today, 787-3870. 787-3870. The Farm and Garden Depot, your headquarters for feed and seed.
Hello?
Hello?
Morning, sir.
Where are you?
I'm still undercover, eating breakfast at Shoney's.
I sent you there hours ago to find out why everyone goes to Shoney's for breakfast instead of my restaurant.
I think it's Shoney's all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, sir.
You think?
Well, I'm only halfway through the 40 delicious breakfast items.
Shoney's breakfast bar features 40 items?
All you care to eat, sir.
No.
At one very low price.
No.
Everything from freshly prepared favorites like scrambled eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage,
Uh-oh.
to tasty surprises
Uh-oh.
like real buttermilk biscuits and real
Ludlow!
sticky buns, sir.
Come back, Ludlow. We've got work to do.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry?
I'm so impressed with their all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, I got a job at Shoney's.
But you're my best busboy.
Shoney's is my destiny.
But, son...
See you, Dad. Tell Mom all right, okay?
Okay.
How do you spend your Saturday mornings? Why not join Bill Dolan and Kevin Holden from 9 to 10 for the Saturday Morning Super Trivia Spectacular? That's your chance to win prizes and show your knowledge of trivia right here on WGFS AM 1430.
We're back on the Newton Ram Tailgate Show. This week on Inside the Numbers, we take a look at the Mount Zion Bulldogs. Last season, head coach Jackie Green took a very young Mount Zion squad to a disappointing 2-8 record. Newton defeated Mount Zion 29-15 at Mount Zion in '94. The game was not as close as the score indicates. Jason Robbins carried the ball 15 times for 99 yards. We got our first glimpse of the future. Yes, a 25-yard touchdown pass from Richie Cleary to Danny Cisco. And oh, by the way, Marcelo Baines, WGFS's Player of the Year in '94, pumped up the defense with a safety. The Rams are 1-0 lifetime against Mount Zion. Yes, I know, one game, they blew them out of the water. This year they look to go 2-0, but Mount Zion is returning 6 starters on offense and 8 on defense. You usually improve when you return 14 of 22 starters, but like I said, this game should be no different than last season's contest. Our stat of the week proves the theory that defense wins ball games. In 1994, the Newton Rams gave up 9 points. Yes, 9 points in their first 4 home games, not giving up a single point until the second half of the Rockdale Bulldog game. That was Game 3 last season, by the way. Last week against the Redan Raiders, Redan had 5 fumbles. 3 were on punt returns. Inside the 20, the Ram defense held Redan to 17 yards on 10 plays. That proves that when you get into the red zone, don't let the other team score. You usually win the ball game, like last week. Also, the Newton offense had 34 total yards and only 1 first down. This week, they should improve on that. If they do, they should have no problem beating Mount Zion. And Redan had 17 carries last week for 1 yard or less, 6 for negative yards. When we return on the Newton Ram Tailgate Show, we'll have the interview with Jack Cook.
A money market account from Newton Federal is where smart money goes to live. Money that earns top rates while being instantly available with some transaction limitations. Put your money to work, real work, with a Newton Federal money market account today. Newton Federal Savings and Loan, FDIC 4-385-2044.
We're back on the Newton Ram Tailgate Show with the Region Roundup. Last week, every team in 8 Quad A was in action. As everyone knows, yes, Newton defeated Redan 6-3. The Rams moved to 1-0. The Parkview Panthers hammered Milton Academy 48-7. Brett Milligan, the highly touted tailback, rushed for 165 yards with 3 rushing touchdowns. By the way, he caught a touchdown pass, so he's not completely one-dimensional. Parkview hosts Forest Park tonight. That is probably the biggest high school game of the week. Brookwood just did squeak by Central Gwinnett in overtime, 11-10 on penetration. Brookwood moves to 1-1, and they have this week off. Central Gwinnett at 0-1 travels to Decula tonight. Berkmar lost to Chattahoochee at home 21-0. The Patriots have quite an obstacle in front of them as they hit the road for Duluth. The Shiloh Generals whipped the Meadow Creek Mustangs 23-0. This week, Shiloh hosts South Gwinnett, and Meadow Creek battles Cherokee. The Winder Barrow Bulldogs beat Habersham Central 13-0 last Friday. Winder Barrow has this week off. Well, Heritage and Rockdale collided in a tough cross-county rivalry. The game was so tough that Heritage walked away with a 42-7 rout over Rockdale. The Bulldogs play that other crosstown rival, Salem, tonight. Heritage visits Troup County. Clark Central battled Cedar Shoals into overtime last Friday. The Gladiators came away with a 28-21 victory. Clark Central welcomes Morrow into Athens tonight. And Norcross and Duluth battled heads all the way into overtime last week. On penetration, Norcross just did win 16-15, and they play at Riverdale tonight. All of this week's games are non-sub-region games for all teams in 8 Quad A. When we come back on the Newton Ram Tailgate Show, it'll be just time for, yes, the Rams to take on Mount Zion right here on WGFS, AM 1430.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Paying for insurance in a lump sum every 6 months or each year can be a hassle and a strain on your budget. With an auto owner's insurance flex bill plan, you can consolidate all your personal insurance premiums into one easy-to-handle monthly payment. With the flex bill plan from auto owners, you'll never feel the sting of an annual premium. See your no-problem auto owner's insurance agent.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street, Southeast, in Covington. Or call 786-9213. Your auto owner's agent.
Auto owners, the no-problem people.
Tradition and excellence since 1946. That's WGFS, AM 1430, Covington.
You've been listening to the Newton Ram Tailgate Show, an inside look at tonight's game, as well as all the action in Region 8 Quad A. Now, get ready. The war is about to begin. Newton Ram football is right around the corner on your station for Ram Sports. WGFS, AM 1430.
Charles Evans Nissan would like to remind you the summer's almost over, and so is the opportunity to get sizzling savings on specially selected vehicles. Stop in for a test drive before the sun sets on this super sale. A 1994 Nissan pickup, only $10,995. Red hot deals on cars ranging from an 88 Honda CRX to a 95 Nissan Maxima, and dozens more. Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Iris Drive off exit 41 in Conyers, 922-7600.
It's time for exciting Newton County Rams football on WGFS AM 1430. Ram football is brought to you by Bulldog Tire, Coast to Coast Home and Auto, Covington Cable TV, Newton Federal Savings and Loan, Mayfield Ace Hardware, the Bank of Covington, East Metro Communications, Ludi Sports Shop, Shoney's Restaurant, Steele Jones Insurance Agency, and Charles Evans Nissan. And now we take you to the Gridiron live with Kevin Holden and Paul Dailey.
Paul, We've already started the night in good shape. The Newton Rams win the toss, and they'll defer to the second half. So Mount Zion will start on offense, but when that second half starts, the Rams will touch the ball first.
That's something you never used to see when I was playing back in high school. When you won the toss, you always wanted to receive, but somebody in one of the years in 83, 84 decided let's put the pressure on the other team and defer to the second half. And I think it's a really good idea, especially with home field advantage. And Stephen Smith's been doing a great job of kicking the ball, and I think it's a good choice on their part.
Well, Stephen Smith will be kicking off the home opener here for the Newton Rams. It's been a special night here at Homer Sharp Stadium. The band filing in. Crowd here looks pretty good by the time it's over with. This may be one of the better crowds we've had here in a couple of years. Of course, the Rams' performance at home last year helps to bring the folks in this year. They were 4-0, allowing only 9 points in 4 games at home. They allowed 1 touchdown, that from the second-team defense, allowed to the Rockdale Bulldogs in a 31-6 game. The other points, a field goal by a top 10 ranked team. Brookwood held them to 3 points, beat them 17-3. It's a tough team to play at home, and Mount Zion may soon find that out.
They want to continue that streak, and if they can just forget about the last game that they played here at the end of November last year, I think they can get a good start here.
The Newton Rams certainly had a debacle that last game, losing 42-21. Number 12, Stephen Smith, going to get ready to start this one off. Back to receive from Mount Zion, number 25, Brian St. Jake, out about the 11-yard line. St. Jake's will take it there. He's out to the 20. Finds a little bit of room. He's out toward the 30-yard line. About a 50-yard kick and a 20-yard return. And we'll begin with the Newton Ram defense, fittingly enough here at this home game.
Good job there by Kelvin Thomas to go down the field. Stayed in his lane, pushed off a couple of blockers, and made a great tackle to give Mount Zion pretty decent field position there on their own 30-yard line.
Your Newton Ram defense across the front. Your left end is Greg Benson. Right end, T.J. Harper. Look for both of them tonight. We'll be calling their names a lot. Emilio Reed and Habeas White make up the rest of the front line. Jeremy Clements, the quarterback from Mount Zion, on first down is in the air. It's up and almost intercepted. That went out of the hands of the intended receiver. And the Newton Ram defense nearly picked that one off.
I tell you what, there's a little bit of confusion there on the play. They was missing a linebacker. Brett Mass had to come out. He had some kind of equipment problem and came out of the field. All he needed to do was turn around and tell the referee he had an equipment problem. They would have called timeout, but he came off the field, and number 40, Jeremy Henson, had to go in and did a good job of coverage on that play. And Henson is only a sophomore, so that's good news.
And it looks like he'll be rewarded for that. Now Clements here on second down. Once again, a pass play. This one up. It is deep, and St. Jake's cannot make the catch. A diving try at the 30-yard line. That ball thrown just beyond him. He had beaten the Newton Ram defender. The man covering him for the Newton defense was Gary Brown. He had beaten Gary, but just out of the reach.
I tell you what, Gary Brown was playing center field there, but last week we saw how aggressive Gary is. He loves to go up and make plays right there on the line of scrimmage, and it hurt him last week in one play that Redan ran. But actually, the person who got beat on that play was Kelvin Thomas, and hopefully he's going to have the learning experience on that play, and Gary Brown may learn and just stay back and play his position.
Britt Mask, one of the linebacking core, getting his first start here. Did not start in the first game. This handoff here to number 6, Damian Smith. Tough little tailback, taking the ball out to the 38-yard line. He stayed up in a good play fake. A lot of folks following Clements after the 2 passing plays. That's what happens when you've got that balanced offense. They focused on Clements. It was Damian Smith who made that happen.
We'll get the picture there. Always, Mount Zion always runs that wing T formation, and that really catches the defensive ends and linebackers off guard if they play too aggressive. But Gary Brown came up and made a big play, and it's going to force Mount Zion to punt. And Danny Cisco is back, ready to receive the punt.
Notice this, though. The punter from Mount Zion is also their quarterback. This means a fake is possible at any time, especially with that QB back there. Calls for this one is not going to be a fake. He's going to get this one off in good shape, a spiraling kick. Cisco's under it at the 32, and he goes down on one knee. The Rams will start in decent field position at their own 32-yard line.
A good effort there by Josh Millwood to try to go ahead and get over the middle and try to block that punt. He wasn't too far away from it, so that's something that he may be a little bit more inspired next punt that Mount Zion has to try a little bit more and get up the middle and may block a punt.
Ball on Newton County's 32-yard line.
So on the 32 or maybe the 33-yard line, the Rams started first and 10. 10 minutes, 24 seconds left in the first quarter. Just underway from Homer Sharp Stadium, Newton Rams home opener of 95 with Richie Cleary. First down passing play. And is that complete to Cisco? Yes, it is. Danny Cisco with a diving catch at midfield. What a play from Cisco, and there's the big game breaker right there.
Well, I tell you what, they learned a little bit last week when they realized that they have to get the ball off a little bit quicker, and Richie Cleary did a good job of just a two-step drop, and he passed it to Danny Cisco, and he's got those Velcro hands that we talked about yesterday, and he proved it right there.
Rams in one play have doubled their passing yards for the season and equaled their first down total from the entire season. They had one first down against Redan. Cleary gives here on first down, and Price going nowhere. He stopped at the line of scrimmage, back to the 50-yard line, the original line. He may have gained a yard on that play, but Mount Zion once again all over Price. He struggled early on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Newton County's got a little bit of a problem in the backfield right now. They got Jonathan Price and also Alex Watley, two small, really quick backs, but nothing really powerful up the middle. And I may be surprised by Alex Watley, but both of them are very small-frame tailbacks and don't look too much for Newton County to go straight up the middle. One of the things Jonathan Price talked about yesterday was wanting to get on the corner, so hopefully he can do that tonight.
Out of the pro set, Danny Cisco, Stephen Smith, the wide receivers. Cleary may be looking for Smith. No, he's looking for James Jackson, the tight end, but the pass incomplete. And Mount Zion's number one, whose name we don't have here on our roster, broke up that pass.
Good job there by number one, and we'll try to get his name. We'll just call him number one for right now. But the pass attempt was to James Jackson, and it was just actually in the flats, and if he would have caught the ball, it wouldn't have been for maybe a 2 or 3 yard gain. But I like to see Newton County out here throwing the ball. That's what we wanted. That's what we expected last week, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Todd Taylor, the name of the man who broke up that pass there. So third down from the 50-yard line. It'll be third down and 9 here for the Rams. Richie Cleary up and over the head of Stephen Smith. He jumped to try to make that catch. Had he made the catch, he might have had a first down. That pass about a foot or so too high, and the Rams will be forced to punt.
Good job by the offensive line there on the passing plays. They gave Richie Cleary plenty of time. He just kind of overthrew Stephen Smith on a post route. 7-yard post and just didn't connect. But good series for Newton County. They got a first down, and now they're going to be back to punt, but good field position.
Here's Stephen Smith on to punt, averaging 33 yards a punt. This one may go more than 33 yards. It's going to bounce at the 20-yard line, take a little bit of a roll Newton's way, and out of bounds at the 19-yard line. It's a 31-yard punt from the line of scrimmage for Stephen Smith.
Well, he'll be the first one to tell you that he's disappointed with that punt and looked a little bit disappointing. Coach Coggins is there talking to him on the sideline. But Stephen did a great job last week of punting, and he's one of those quality leaders on the football team, and I know he'll try to address that and do something better on the next punt.
Mount Zion at their own 20 to start this drive. Once again, it looks like we may have a field position game. Last time we saw a couple of running offenses. Rams are going a little more to the pass. You know Mount Zion uses the pass. Still looks like a field position game, though. 9:05 remaining here in the first quarter, and the give to number 40, and he has found some room on the corner, and Gary Brown has to come from behind and tackle him at the 40-yard line. Marshall Thornton, only a sophomore. He is big for a sophomore, and he gained some big yardage.
I tell you what, Britt Mask is filling in for Patrick Gaither at the linebacker slot. He just kind of got wheeled in on the inside, and good block there by the left tackle for the Mount Zion Bulldogs, and put the running back on the corner. And actually, number 6, Kelvin Thomas, got suckered in also, and luckily Gary Brown, the athlete that he was able to track down the ball carrier.
First and 10, Bulldogs.
Clements over center, and this give to Damian Smith, and Smith fumbled the football. Near the out-of-bounds line, we will see who has the football. 8:35 left in the first quarter, but Damian Smith fumbled that ball at the 43. It may have
one out of bounds. One of the Newton County players, number 6, Kelvin Thomas, tried to pick it up and maybe should have just fell on the ball, but the ball dribbled out of bounds, and it's going to bring up a second down and about 7-8 yards to go.
We may have a little trouble with the scoreboard tonight. One of the bulbs is out. It's a very strategic bulb that makes an 8 look like a 6 and a 9 look like a 5. So we may be giving you some wrong times tonight. If we do, we apologize for that. Clements giving here and stopped at the line of scrimmage. There may be a gain of a yard or two, but out to about the 46-yard line. That back was pushed back by the entire Newton Ram defense. 9 jerseys in on the play.
The only 2 people that was not on that play was Alex Watley and Kelvin Thomas. Gary Brown, like I said, he's very aggressive. He just leaps over the pile and finally brings everybody down. But good surge there by the offensive line of Mount Zion. That's kind of scary when those little guys on Mount Zion are surging the defense for Newton County. Those guys are much bigger than Mount Zion. But going back to the clock, Kevin, hopefully we won't have the same guy running the clock that we did last week.
I think we left him in DeKalb County.
I hope so.
Tony Little, the center for the Mount Zion Bulldogs, snaps it to his QB. QB gives to Damian Smith, looking for a hole. There's a flag on the opposite side of the field. James Jackson hits Damian Smith and brings him down. Check the flag.
Good job there by Jamaico Usher and also James Jackson to come up and make the play. I think it's going to be illegal motion on Mount Zion, so they're probably going to replay this down.
It'll push him back a little ways, and that'll be a help for the Rams here, Paul, as they had 3rd and 3, but instead
he picks up the flag and says, okay, we won't call that one. that's one of the things we're seeing a lot more of is the officials picking up the flag and waving it off. Back when we were playing in 82 and 83 in high school, they never picked up the flag. But seeing a lot more of that now.
Well, the players now have seen the yellow hanky hit the field. They'll know what to expect from now on. The referees here have given them a little advance warning.
Maybe it's like a courtesy warning when the police officers pull people over for speeding. It's kind of a warning.
Mount Zion, if you go through that illegal procedure again, it'll hit the field for real, that yellow hanky will.
It's going to force Mount Zion to punt. Again, Danny Cisco deep to receive on his own 15.
Clements will be punting. Once again, take a look at the fake here. The snap to Clements is a high one, but he still gets the kickoff. This one spirals down to the 30-yard line. Takes a hop in Mount Zion's favor big time, down almost to the 15-yard.
A battle of field positioning right now. Newton County is on the losing end.
Newton Rams only 26 yards rushing against Redan, only 8 yards passing, so they'll look to improve there. Here a delayed give to Jonathan Price, and here come a couple of yellow hankies for real this time. Price was brought down immediately in that Mount Zion defense by Terrell Askew.
Bless you.
Thanks.
I tell you what, Askew grabbed a little bit of face mask too, so they're going to back Mount Zion up in a big break there for Newton County. Jonathan Price was going through the middle of the line, and all of a sudden his head got jerked back, so you know somebody grabbed a face mask, and I think it was Mr. Askew that grabbed it.
And bless you. We'll be saying that name a lot tonight, I have a feeling. A gain of 1 for Price plus the penalty against the Mount Zion Bulldogs. By the way, the Newton Rams have been able to stay away from penalties this year. They've had only one, a 5-yard penalty in that Redan game.
Something very, very strange for the first part of the season, and that's good coaching on Newton County's part.
So Rams first down and 10 on their own 29. That's the second first down, doubles their Redan total. Getting the ball here is Alex Watley. Watley hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Paul, it may be difficult to establish the running game tonight.
I tell you what, I just don't feel like they're going to have a whole lot of success because actually you got two tailbacks in the backfield. Alex Watley is a great young man, is a great athlete. So is Jonathan Price. He's a younger person, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to establish anything up the middle. What they need to do is try to establish something on the corner, their passing game, and then that's going to open up the middle.
6 minutes and 5 seconds, I think, on the scoreboard here left in the first quarter. We'll know in a moment if that's for real. We're under 6 minutes. Yeah, we're not. 5:59.
5:59 left to play in the first quarter.
Cleary this time is going to give, and there's a little bit of room for Watley. Watley breaks one tackle, breaks another. He's got a first down up to the 43-yard line. It took St. Jake's to bring him down, and St. Jake's brought him down by the ankles. Otherwise, we might have had a touchdown there.
Good job on the left side of the Newton County's offense. T.J. Harper and those guys pushing down the line. Emilio Reed and Josh Gill. Good read there by Richie Cleary to hand off to Alex Watley and picked up a big yardage for a first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Newton County Rams on their own 43-yard line.
So maybe the Rams will get it done a little with the running game. Just as we say that, they have the 14-yarder. Here's Watley again, a little hole open for him. That was Price, excuse me. He's got about a 4 or 5 yard gain, so takes the hole to his advantage.
Well, I tell you what, the offensive line for Newton County is much bigger than the defensive line for Mount Zion. They just outman and outsize Mount Zion on both sides of the field. So maybe they can take advantage and get something started here in the middle. And I guarantee I can't wait to see Jonathan Price on the corner because he's got a lot of speed.
Not sure if this is 100% true, but Jackie Green told me that his biggest man across the front is 188 pounds.
That's about right.
Cleary takes the snap. We're looking for a pass here. It is up. It is complete. Stephen Smith at the 35. He's got some room to the 25, to the 20. One man left to beat, and he's tackled. But at the 5-yard line, Stephen Smith, a big reception. Right there's the exciting offense that puts the folks in the seats. This year, it's a little different for the Newton Rams.
Got a flag on the play, Kevin. That's the only thing that's kind of scaring me here. Looks like they're going to bring it back. Beautiful play there for the Newton County Rams. It's the same pass play they tried to run earlier in the game with a little 7-yard post to Stephen Smith coming across the middle. Stephen was able to make the catch, but there's a flag on the play, so let's hold it and see what they're going to call.
Call was a clip against Newton County.
And I guarantee you, Kevin, that clip happened after Stephen Smith had caught the ball and done ran past. It's one of those blocks that was really not necessary. So I'm sure Coach Cook is going to get from the officials what number made the clip, and I'm sure he's going to have a little discussion in conference with that young man.
So the Rams will pick up here 15 penalty yards. Gives them 20 for the year on only 2 penalties. However, this is a big one.
But that play really looked good. Richie Cleary looked like he had a lot more time. Very the opposite of what we saw last week. He had no time to set up, but he's having plenty of time today. and that's credit to his offensive line.
And when you have trouble pass blocking, it affects the psychology of your quarterback, and he wants to try to do everything himself. We saw it 2 years ago with Mike Sellers. He a lot of times had second halves where he had to try to do everything himself. Cleary takes the snap here. This one will go to Price. Price was looking for something, but Mount Zion closed the hole that was opened up in a hurry. Price may have gotten 2 or 3 yards.
What happened there is Alex Wallace set up in a wing T formation, went in motion. Looked like it was going to be a sweep to the right side, but they ran Jonathan Price up the middle. He gained just a couple of yards, call it 3. But that really is a setup play, a setup for maybe a sweep to the right side on this next second down.
See if you can read that character on the scoreboard. I think it's 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter.
That's going to be a tester all night long.
Rams continue to push downfield. 4 first downs here in this first quarter. The offense looking much better. And here's Cleary. He's got good protection. The pass is up, incomplete. James Jackson and Alex Watley, 2 men cutting across the middle, but neither were close to that pass.
Looks like Richie Cleary had his eyes on James Jackson the whole way. He was well covered by a Mount Zion defender. James said yesterday at the pet rally he just wants the ball in his hands, and he's a great athlete. He's one of those athletes very similar to Gary Brown, a little bit more stocky, a little bit more meaty than Gary, but just as good as an athlete. And I guarantee if you can get it in his hands or either one of the wide receivers from Newton County, Danny Cisco or Stephen Smith, Newton County is going to have a good night.
Derek Coggin calls the offensive signals, and he wanted us to let his family know he's not going crazy, just giving signs for the offensive signals. Give here, and Watley breaks free, and he is at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown, Newton Rams. Alex Watley kneels at the end of the end zone. 6 points for Newton, and the home fans excited. The 82-yard drive culminating in the 42-yard run from Watley.
Great job there by Richie Cleary of reading the option to the left side, the weak side of the field. Gave the ball off, a straight dive to Alex Watley. He made a big play, broke a couple of tackles, and just simply outran Damian Smith, the cornerback for Mount Zion, and puts Newton County up 6-0. And Stephen Smith is coming on to try the extra point.
Now, we talked about this morning at the coaches' breakfast, that we haven't had the chance to get a good snap down for Stephen Smith, so we don't know how he's going to look on point after attempts, but we're about to find out.
Well, he's got Velcro hands holding the ball, Danny Cisco, so hopefully if the ball can get back there, Stephen should get a good kick away.
Comes the snap. It's a good one. Hold is good. Here comes the kick. And Stephen Smith is perfect on the 1995 season, 1 for 1 in his point after attempt. 7-0 your score. Newton Rams on top. We're going to take this break. More exciting Newton Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
With a $500 daily minimum balance, you can enjoy a Now account at Newton Federal Savings and Loan with no monthly maintenance fee, competitive interest earnings, and immediate access to your money. And even better, you'll discover the best in personal banking service. Newton Federal Savings and Loan, FDIC insured. In Covington, 786-7088. $100 minimum to open.
Back live here at Homer Sharp Stadium with 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining. Newton County, after a big touchdown, leads this game 7-0. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Rams drive, 8 plays, 82 yards. Penalties, the name of the game. A Mount Zion penalty for 10 yards, a Ram penalty for 15. But the other big reason why the Rams went 82 yards and 8 plays, the big play. Alex Watley, a 14-yard run, a 42-yard run. Also, don't forget about the 23-yard pass.
Good job there by the Newton County offense. And I tell you what, if you establish a passing game, that's going to open up the middle and also the running game. And that's exactly what Newton County did on that series.
St. Jake's is back with Cornell Kirk and Damian Smith. And this one goes to St. Jake's at the 2-yard line. 58-yard kick. Here comes St. Jake's. Hit once, twice, now brought down. Didn't quite make it back to the 20-yard line. He's down at the 18, perhaps the 19. And that's a return of about 17 yards.
Good job there by number 61 on Newton County Rams coverage team, Joseph Cox. He's out there, made a big play, and I'm sure he's really excited about that. And a good young man, only 11th grader, so that's exciting for the Newton County Rams to have someone that aggressive on their kickoff team.
3:08 remaining here in the first quarter. And we want to congratulate the public address announcer here at Homer Sharp Stadium. Reg Griffin is back for another year, and it's good to see another one of Newton County's finest traditions holding up.
I think there was an official timeout on the field, number 25 for the Mount Zion Bulldogs. Brian St. Jake's had to go out for some equipment problem, and they allowed a little bit more time for the Mount Zion offense to get ready.
Now they're ready to go from their own 19. They started with Jeremy Clements running a wing T formation, 2 receivers on the near sideline, a man in motion. Clements calling. Looking for the pass. It's complete at the 35 and brought down at the 36-yard line. That one complete to Antonio Turner. And And it's a first down.
Jeremy Clemens seems like he's got everything going the way he wants to as far as the pass blocking up front. He's got plenty of time. Good catch there by number 8 on the receiving end. Number 8 is Antonio Turner. Stephen Smith was on the coverage on that play, allowed a little bit too much cushion, and maybe he'll learn from that and maybe not give Antonio that much cushion on the next play.
Well, Turner is not in there on this play as a wide receiver. This time Damian Smith make that Marshall Thornton takes the football, and Thornton has nowhere to go. Ram defensive front all over him. Don't think he gained a yard.
Good job there by Greg Benson, the hero of last week's game, of sitting there and staying home and making a good play, pushing his tackle down inside, and that's what defensive tackles are supposed to do. Just meet your blocker, push him inside, and just wait for someone to meet you, and that's exactly what Greg Benson did on that play. And he's a big young man, so he's put on a lot of weight over the summer, a lot of strength, and I guarantee he may be playing on Saturdays down the road.
Stands beginning to fill here at Homer Sharp Stadium. The home opener, and you have to know the Newton Rams have a little extra fire going through them right now. Up by a touchdown, 7-0. A minute 43 left here. Clements on the short passing play. Brian St. Jakes eludes one man. He's at the 40, and he's at midfield, still in bounds, and he was pushed out of bounds finally into Newton territory, about the 47-yard line.
Well, Brian St. James, he's got a lot of moves. We called his name several times last year. He put a move on Kelvin Thomas there, and it just put him. Kelvin Thomas just kind of sat down. Real good move by Brian St. Jakes. And another thing that was kind of scary there, he put a move on Gary Brown and put Gary Brown on his back and got by him. So this Brian St. Jakes may be somebody to watch.
Going to see the ball in the air a lot tonight from both teams, I have a feeling. Now in Newton territory. Mount Zion gives to Thornton, the Ram defensive front all over that. Thornton may have gained a yard, but looks like the Rams are keying in on Marshall Thornton, and he's had nowhere to go.
Good job by Habeas White and also T.J. Harper of making that right side of the Newton defensive line really strong. T.J.'s a big guy. He plays both ways, got a club on his hand. I think he did something to his wrist in last week's games, but made a big play there, and that gives the Newton County defense a really solid right side of their defensive line.
Harper comes out with under a minute left to play. Here in quarter number 1. Both wide receivers toward the Newton Rams sideline. Same man goes in motion. That's Marcos Candelaria that goes in motion. Clements is rolling back, looking for a man. It's up and almost complete. The man who nearly caught that pass was Damian Smith, the tailback, but he got out there in a hurry, Paul.
He sure did. He went in motion, and Jamaica Usher's sitting there slapping himself on the head because the ball went right through his arms. He was back in the curl area of that play, and it was a post pattern, and Jamaica Usher should have came up with that play, and I'm sure he'll be the first one to admit he could have caught that ball.
Mount Zion has run 12 plays from scrimmage, 5 passes. They've completed 2. Thing is, each of them for 17 yards, a total of 34 yards passing here in the first quarter. And they're going to try it again. Clements, his throw is up, nearly intercepted, batted down. And a good job there from Alex Watley as he batted that pass down. Credit also Brian St. Jakes, who came over to him, batted him on the helmet, said nice play.
Good job there by Alex Watley, a two-way player. He's going to be a tired young man after this game, but good sportsmanship by Brian St. Jakes. Whenever somebody makes a good play, and that's exactly what Alex Watley did, a good sportsmanship on Brian St. Jakes for just going over there and say, hey, man, good job.
You know, you talked about Alex Watley as being someone who's going to be tired before the night's over. I think there will be a lot of those for both sides because both of these teams play a lot of folks both ways. It happens a lot for Newton, and Mount Zion the last couple of years has done that.
Platooning in high school is really something really hard to do when you platoon offense and defense. Most of these guys got to play both ways.
The punt from Jeremy Clements off the end of his foot. He shanked that one, and it's going to fall at the 36-yard line. And that punt, is that a 10-yard punt? Yes, it is. And after the 10-yard punt, Rams in good field position here. 19 seconds left in the first quarter.
Well, Jeremy Clements is sitting there hitting himself in the head. He just simply shanked that ball, and he was lucky to get 10 yards out of it. A very ugly punt on his part, but he's a quality athlete, and he'll be back.
So here come those passing Newton Rams. We have to get used to saying that.
We also got a new quarterback, Doyle Baker, in the game.
Here's Doyle Baker on the third series. So the first team runs the first 2 series, and he gives here and stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
We've got a lot of new people out there.
Roderick Henderson took that ball, and that's the final play of quarter number 1. So the Newton Rams score once here in the first quarter. And after the run from Henderson, we'll be back with your second quarter of Newton Ram action right after this here on WGFS AM 1430.
Hello?
Ludlow?
Morning, sir.
Where are you?
I'm still undercover eating breakfast at Shoney's.
I sent you there hours ago to find out why everyone goes to Shoney's for breakfast instead of my restaurant.
I think it's Shoney's all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, sir.
You think?
Well, I'm only halfway through the 40 delicious breakfast items.
Shoney's breakfast bar features 40 items?
All you care to eat, sir.
No.
At one very low price.
No.
Everything from freshly prepared favorites like scrambled eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage,
Ludlow?
to tasty surprises
Ludlow?
like real buttermilk biscuits and real
Ludlow!
sticky buns, sir.
Come back, Ludlow. We've got work to do.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry?
I'm so impressed with their all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, I got a job at Shoney's.
But you're my best busboy.
Shoney's is my destiny.
But, son...
See you, Dad. Tell Mom all right, okay?
Okay.
Second quarter of Newton Ram action. Kevin Holden and Paul Dailey bringing it to you live from Covington, Georgia. Newton Rams leading the Mount Zion Bulldogs 7-0. First play of the second quarter is Richie Cleary and the Newton Ram offense. 2 backs, 2 wide receivers. This give, and once again, just completely stuffed there. That's Doyle Baker at quarterback, not Richie Cleary. Again, the second teamers are in here in this series for the Newton Rams.
Deroni Perryman on the carry there. He's listed as a second-string tailback. Looks like several of the second-string Newton County players are out there right now with Doyle Baker leading the offense. A little miscommunication there with the snap. Doyle Baker was very lucky to get the snap and hand it off, but not a whole lot of success. Matter of fact, it's going to make a third down and about 13, 14 yards to go.
Well, as you know, Baker fumbled a snap in the second play of a series against Redan. He's going to try to pass here. This pass is up, and it is complete. Near a first down. What a reception from Gary Brown, playing a little wide receiver.
Kind of a la Deion Sanders, you know, put your best athlete out there on both sides of the ball, especially at a receiver slot. And Gary Brown is definitely one of those players you're going to be seeing on Saturdays playing probably Division I college football.
First down for the Newton Rams. It's their 5th so far. They are at their own 47-yard line. And the second teamers aren't able to get it done with the run, but they do with the pass. Baker over center here, first down and 10. Just into the second quarter of action. This time, Henderson takes the football, and it's on the ground at midfield. Mount Zion may have this ball. They're already motioning that the Bulldogs have recovered that fumble. Henderson fumbled the football immediately from the line of scrimmage. Someone hit him and knocked the ball loose, and Mount Zion has it.
And just a little mistake there by Henderson, but he's going to get a little correction from the offensive line, offensive backs coach Derek Coggins, and they will get everything straight and push the Newton County defense back on the field at the 50-yard line.
Let there be light, they say. It's Mount Zion at midfield with Jeremy Clements. The first play is a handoff and a yard or two. Newton Rams once again stuffing the inside running game that time. And here comes some late flags. Just now they've been thrown. Thornton with the carry, by the way. You have the feeling maybe some words exchanged there.
Yeah, some words exchanged. And that's really sad because Jamaica Usher made a tremendous play. I'm not sure what the referee's going to call. I didn't see anything, so I don't want to sit there and tell what's happening. But it looks like the Newton County defense is out there saying they're going to decline the penalty, but I don't think they're going to decline anything on a personal foul. It looks like the personal foul may be on Newton County.
Yeah, you're not going to be declining your own penalty, unfortunately, if you're the Ram defense.
I'm sure they wish they'd like to. That's sportsmanlike conduct.
And it goes against both teams. Went against Newton and Mount Zion, as a matter of fact. And so the offsetting penalties means that it's going to be at the 48-yard line, a 2-yard gain, and we believe that may have been Britt Maskin on that.
Britt's a feisty young man. He's just probably all fired up about being out here. And I tell you what, he's a small guy, but he's really feisty. He plays offensive guard, he plays linebacker, and he's probably just really aggressive, and that's the way you got to be. And luckily, it was offsetting penalty. It's going to be second down and about 8 yards to go for Mount Zion on the Newton County 48-yard line.
Second down, 8 yards
so that
to go for the Bulldogs.
Quote-unquote 8-man front for the Rams. Here's Clements rolling out toward the near sideline. Looks for the pass. Does not have a receiver. He's going to tuck it under and run and get hit hard. Not a flag on the play. He was hit hard just as he was going out of bounds there.
Good job there by Kelvin Thomas to come up and push him out of bounds. The coaches on the Mount Zion side over there saying they want a late hit, but that was a good, clean hit. And he could have hit him a lot harder, and he just kind of pushed him out of bounds. So good play there by Kelvin Thomas, and also the right side of the Newton County defense.
Mount Zion has had 3 third-down plays so far. They've had 8 yards total on those 3 third-down plays, so the Ram defense has been able to stop them for the most part. In fact, they had 1 8-yard run. The other 2 times, nothing on third down.
Mount Zion's taking a lot of time right here. They're maybe flirting with a delay of game if they don't hurry up and get this snap off.
Mount Zion with 40 rushing yards, 34 passing yards so far. And they do get the snap off in time. And Clements hanging on to the football, but he's going to be hit, and he was hit rock hard by Alex Watley, nowhere near a first down. He was hit at the 46-yard line. Watley lowered his shoulder just straight into Jeremy Clements, and he might even be shaken up as he tries to punt here.
Big time hit there by Alex Watley, just coming up his run support, playing the left corner over there. Jeremy Clements just tried to go around the right side, but was unable to do that with the speed of Alex Watley. He just came up there and made a really good hit. It's going to bring up 4th and about 5.5 for Mount Zion. It looks like Jeremy Clements is going to be back to punt. And again, Danny Cisco deep to receive.
Last time that Clements touched the football with his foot, he just barely did. It was a 10-yard punt. See what happens this time. It is a fake play. This pass is going to be up and wide open is St. Jake's. He has a first down. He may even have a touchdown. Credit Danny Cisco, who knocks him out of bounds at the 13-yard line. We said to be looking out for that because Mount Zion with their quarterback back there looking for the easy passing play, and St. Jake's he could have camped out there all alone.
Yeah, he was wide open. And, whenever you have a quarterback punting the ball, like you said earlier, Kevin, you got to be aware of that. And Chris Middlebrooks was out there covering Brian St. Jake's and just kind of let him get away from him, and he was out there just wide open, and luckily Chris Middlebrooks caught up and Danny Cisco saved the touchdown.
So with 9:07 left, Rams still up 7-0. And a timeout called on the field, and we are also going to take a timeout. More exciting Newton Rams football. Rams up 7-0. More exciting Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
Off tackle, and he bent it back against the grain. And what that's showing is showing the defense of Newton County is pursuing the ball a little bit too aggressive, and there's no backside support. And I'm sure Coach Cook is going to have to make that adjustment at halftime, him along with the defense coordinator Kevin Binky. Looks like Mount Zion may go for 2 here.
They do. It would be a tie score. That's exactly what they're going to do. Go for the point after attempt here. The way they're moving the football, their last 7 games, the least of them have been for 5 yards. So 3 yards shouldn't be much of a problem. It's a high pass up. Kirk Wells looking for it. It is going to be incomplete. Wells overran the football, but credit Alex Watley for sort of running him out there toward the end marker and nowhere near the football.
It's going to bring up 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first half. Newton County on top, 14-12. A little discouragement on Newton County side. Coach Cook's talking to his defensive guys and trying to get something up. Maybe Newton County can get a quick score before halftime.
Let's keep it here, Paul, and an interesting situation going on in this game, almost the exact opposite of that Redan game. Redan was defense, defense, defense. We talked a lot about field position. There really was no running game pretty much for either team. There was a little gain here and a little gain there. This one, the big gains all over the place, and looks like an offensive battle.
This is what the fans like to see. One of the things the coaches don't want to see. The fans want to see a lot of points on the board. Of course, they want their team to make the most points. But the coaches out there want to see a low-scoring game or maybe a high-scoring game on their part. But definitely the opposite of what we saw last Friday night. And Mount Zions came here to play, and they brought some people with them, and their band's ready. And looks like Newton County's in for a dogfight.
If you have a high-scoring affair, it shows, first of all, a lot of times that your offense is executing, but also your defense is making mistakes. And Coach Cook likes that good, strong defense, so the mistakes for both sides can't be very encouraging to him.
That's right. It looks like Mount Zion is going to line up on an onside kick formation, so Danny Cisco is coming up maybe to try to get this ball.
3:03 left in the second quarter. Peyton Daughtry, the kicker. The onside kick formation. Nearly everyone toward the Newton Rams sideline. The ball placed snugly on the 40. The onside kick is up there, and it's going to take a bounce, and Mount Zion may have gotten this football. We'll check and see. It's at the 35-yard line in Newton territory. Looks like Newton may have the football. They may have caught themselves a break there.
I'll tell you what, if Newton County gets the ball here, they're mighty lucky because it looks like Brian St. Jake's came down with the ball inbounds. Danny Cisco and a couple of other guys kind of just sat there and watched the kickoff come down, and that's a free ball. As long as it goes 10 yards, it's a free ball. So Newton County's got a big break on that play.
The first teamers out there for this one, Richie Cleary and company. And here comes a flag.
There's the flag.
Looks like he's calling a flag on his own official. The two officials were sitting there talking. Looked like they had a couple of words, and the head referee threw a flag. So let's see. Let's wait and see. Brian St. Jake's he's really upset. I don't blame him.
It appears that the kick went out of bounds. We got a late flag.
The late flag is out there, and Our public address announcer tells us that the kick went out of bounds, so the ball is placed at the 35-yard line. The Rams will decline, of course, the penalty on the kickoff and take the ball from the 35 here. They've got 3 minutes, and with the way this offense has been performing, they could certainly put something on the board in 3 minutes, but they're having trouble getting together with the sideline, and as far as what play to run, they may have to call a timeout.
Early mistake there by one of the officials. You know, whenever the ball goes out of bounds, you got to throw that flag and let everybody know it's out of bounds, and he just didn't do it.
First and 10, Newton County.
The Rams first and 10 now from their own 35. 3:03, and there's an official's timeout.
Looks like one of the head coach for the Mount Zion Bulldogs are wanting to talk to the head officials. He's going to waste a timeout here. Probably not a bad move on his part to work the officials, but that definitely was a questionable call. But it was strictly the linesman's call. He was right there on top of it. Didn't make any call. Didn't pull his flag or anything. So those guys are doing the best they can, and I'm sure he'll learn from his mistake and throw that flag next time the ball hits the boundary.
What if they're making up for the inadvertent yellow hanky earlier on?
I can guarantee you the head officials over there getting an earful from the Mount Zion coach. But it's probably going to, very rarely do you see in high school football officials changing their calls. So I'm sure that Newton County will have the ball on their own 35-yard line, and they have 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. Call it 3 minutes and 3.
3 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the first half.
As we mentioned before, that 25-yard kick, if it had not gone out of bounds, there may have been a serious problem there because Mount Zion jerseys were all over that football right there at the 35, but fortunately out of bounds.
I think Newton County was anticipating just a squib 10-yard onside kick, and the Mount Zion kicker just kind of booted it up in the air, and Dan Cisco and the other guys kind of just watched it. So got to learn from that and not let it happen again.
Finally now the Newton Ram offense set to go on first and 10. And on first down, Price takes it. He's hit hard, and ball is on the ground. Mount Zion has it. Number 4 has picked it up, and Cleary is going to have to make the tackle, and he's bringing him down by his shirt, literally by his shirt tail. The fumble was recovered by Cornell Kirk, a junior, a linebacker, and Mount Zion with the football with 2:50 left.
Just a mixed direction play there to Jonathan Price. He just kind of just lost the ball right there. The guy was making the tackle and just kind of stripped the ball away from him and grabbed it and took off running. Luckily, Richie Cleary had strong enough hands to pull him down, but that may just be justice there because I think it should have been Mount Zion's ball anyway after that kickoff. So not very good news for Newton High football fans.
Well, you know how the Newton Ram defense performed last week in the red zone. They'll have the chance to do it again, 2:34 left, but a lot tougher offense facing here. Clements passes up, and it's going to be incomplete. Wells was the intended receiver, but blue jerseys all around it.
It seems to be Jeremy Clements' favorite target is going to be Kurt Wells. He's thrown to him several different times and actually threw in the triple coverage there. Jeremy Clements is very lucky that ball was not intercepted by Chris Middlebrooks.
Kirk Wells is a sophomore, so is Marshall Thornton, big fullback. Tony Little and Art Wilkerson across the front for Mount Zion are sophomores, and on defense, they start 5 10th graders and 2 juniors. This is a young team and very talented for a team this young.
As long as you got a veteran quarterback with Jeremy Clements, you can have some young people, but as long as you got quality leadership and a 12th grader quarterback, you can be in good shape.
2:27 left here. Taking the football, Marshall Thornton. Thornton has a small gain upfield inside the 15, it looks like, and Thornton is another one of the favorite targets to give to, and he's had a couple of big gains, a 20-yarder on first down in the first quarter, a 12-yarder earlier this quarter.
And remember about the kicker from Mount Zion, he was hitting 42, 43 yarders in pregame at ease, so Mount Zion has an excellent field goal kicker, so Newton County's got their backs to the wall at this point.
Clock runs. Mount Zion has 1 timeout remaining. We're under 2 minutes to play. Third down from the 12-yard line, about 3rd and 5, maybe 6. See what Mount Zion will run here. They are going to look for the passing play. It's going to be up and an incomplete.
Mount Zion pass intended.
And Gary Brown came in and put a big hit on Damian Smith. They were trying to hit him once again from his tailback position. For a tailback, he's more like a receiver. We see him downfield more than anything.
Great coverage there by Alex Watley and also Gary Brown for support. Good pass on Jeremy Clements' part, just maybe just a little bit overthrown, but Gary Brown and Alex Watley had great coverage on that play.
1 minute and 40 seconds left. 4th down and about 5 or 6 yards to go from the 12. And it looks like Mount Zion is going to go for this field goal with Peyton Daughtry.
It's going to be about a 29-yarder, Kevin.
That's right, a 29-yard attempt here from Daughtry. He had a couple of good ones last year. And the snap good and the hold is good. And that kick definitely good and well over the field goal post. A terrific kick there. Mount Zion is going to take the lead in this one, 15-14. The Newton Rams being shocked here at home as they've allowed 15 points in the first half.
Newton County's defense is coming with their heads kind of hung down low. Of course, you know, the offense didn't help them out with a fumble, put them in a bad position, but Coach Cook is a master at making adjustments at halftime, so I'm sure he's going to have a mouthful to talk to his team at the half, which is only a minute and 35 away.
That's exactly right, and I'm sure a lot of Newton Rams will be getting some earfuls at halftime, but as you know, the Rams have played a lot of inspired football in the third quarter. Last year in '94, third quarter, Rams had 514 rushing yards in 10 games. It's really not that bad considering they gave up less than 300.
That's a good quote, and that just goes back to show you that Coach Cook, his players listen to him at halftime to make good adjustments, and that's not only Coach Cook but also his assistants. So looks like Mount Zion's going to line up again in that kind of onside formation. I think Dan Cisco is going to learn his lesson and maybe try to catch this ball this time.
So Daughtry lining up here, and we are going to see the onside kick from Daughtry. If it's anything like that last one, that Ram defense is going to have to, punt return team, kickoff return team is going to have to look out. And this time a fair catch called for by Jonathan Price. He goes down at the 29-yard line, and that one very uneventful compared to the last one, a 31-yard kick.
Good job there by Jonathan Price just to wave his hand and signal for a fair catch. A lot of people don't understand that, but you can call a fair catch on a kick like that, off a kickoff. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Newton Rams on their own 29.5-yard line.
95 seconds for them to try to do some kind of damage here. And they're going with the second teamers. Here's Doyle Baker. We see in the backfield Henderson and Perryman. Gary Brown, one of the potential wide receivers here, taking the football is Henderson, and Henderson just drags forward a yard or two and goes down.
A lot of confidence there with Coach Cook with his running back Henderson. Henderson made one of the early mistakes of a fumble earlier in the game, but he puts him right back out there, and that shows a lot of confidence and a lot of character from Coach Cook to give the ball off to Henderson.
Clock continues to tick here, a minute 11 left, and does not look like Coach Cook is doing anything really aggressive here. And a timeout is going to be called, an official's timeout it looks like. Now they're set to go. That's probably the shortest timeout in the history of high school football there. Now Doyle Baker over center and set to go, and he's going to give to Henderson, and Henderson dives forward with perhaps a yard or two, and now we're less than a minute left to play.
Don't look like Coach Cook's wanting to do anything eventful here, just probably try to run out the clock, see what these second teamers can do, and go in there at halftime, make his adjustments, and get out here and get a fresh start in the third quarter.
42 seconds left, and bear in mind that if the Rams can't get something done here on the third down play, they may have to kick it off, and Mount Zion may have a chance to do something else here.
Officials timeout on the field.
And with the officials timeout, the Rams are going to go back and talk this thing over. Now with Doyle Baker in there, third down, the last time we saw a third down and long play was a pass from Baker to Gary Brown, and it became a first down. What do you do here?
Well, they've set them up the first two downs, just kind of running straight up the middle. Might not be a bad idea, maybe you got Gary Brown out wide, just maybe lob it up and let an athlete like Gary Brown maybe try to make the play, but he's lined up real close to like a tight end would, so I don't really think Coach Cook is going to do anything exciting here.
Mount Zion, thanks to 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, up 15-14 on your Newton Rams. And Henderson will take the football here and gain a yard, perhaps 2, and looks like the clock may just run out from there. And now we see a timeout.
Looks like Mount Zion's going to burn their last timeout and make Newton do something, make them punt, maybe try to rush the punter. Not a bad move there by the Mount Zion coaching staff.
Left on the clock.
Roderick Henderson, with 3 carries there, gains a total of 8 yards. It didn't look like he was trying to do anything except a couple of yards, just 3 yards in a cloud of dust, sort of the way we've seen Jack Cook football in the past.
Yeah, I believe when you have an athlete out there with Gary Brown and he just towers over these Mount Zion people, I believe I may have tried to air it out there and let an athlete like him do something because they're in the same situation here. You know, if they would have done that, they would have been in the same situation. So it's going to bring up fourth down and about 2.5 yards. But Stephen Smith is on the punt, and I guarantee you Mount Zion's got something up their sleeve as far as maybe trying to rush it.
Of course, remember this now, Paul. Stephen Smith, the quarterback last year for the Newton Rams.
I don't think it'd be a good time to pull a fake punt, especially with the field goal kicker that Mount Zion has. But you only have 11 seconds on the clock, so who knows what we might see here. Conservative football, like Coach Jack Cook always does, I'm sure Stephen Kick's going to punt it away.
All right, here is Smith standing at about his own 24-yard line to punt this one away. snaps a high one. He had to jump for it. Gets the kick off in good shape. It's a nice kick. Going to be fielded at the 30-yard line by St. Jake's, and immediately he is tackled, and time is going to run out here, and that is the end of the second quarter. Time has run out. St. Jake's with a 2-yard return on the punt. The punt, a 33-yarder from Stephen Smith, and after the return, that is going to make it halftime. And here it is, a shocker here from Homer Sharp Stadium. We knew this Mount Zion team could do it on offense, and they have done it on offense against this Ram defense. This is a team that allowed 9 points in the first 4 games at home last year, 15 points at home in the first half this year, and they're calling the teams back to the field.
I don't really know. The coaching staff for the Mount Zion Bulldogs came out there and was talking to the referees, and looks like they're going to have one play or one snap. Don't understand that. It looked like the clock went away, but maybe the official blew the whistle right before the last second turned over, but it's going to run out now with a change of possession, so it's halftime.
Time actually in. The clock being kept on the field.
A lot of confusion there. A lot of confusion. I don't know what the officials are doing. They should have just called it halftime because they knew what was going to happen. But
the officials called 11 men on defense and 11 men on offense to stand around the football for, 2-3 seconds, and then they send them off to their respective locker rooms, so they appreciate the extra weight. Perhaps they'll be a little more rested by the third quarter. Well, we reached halftime, and the score is 15-14 in favor of the Mount Zion Bulldogs over the Newton Rams. And when we come back here on the halftime show, we'll bring you a little statistics from the first half, and if we could round up Chris Bridges from the Covington News, we may be talking to him about this first half. And, of course, Paul, you'll have the chance to do that. Another thing you'll have the chance to do, and the folks have got the pens and papers ready for the Big Dogs picks.
Well, we got some good ones this week, too.
And we're going to be back with that right after this here on WGFS AM 1430.
When you're tackling those lawn and garden chores this summer, picture yourself on a Toro Wheel Horse lawn and garden tractor. For a limited time, it's easy to buy a new tractor because you can choose from 2 terrific financing programs. Choose either no payments and no interest until October 1st, 1995, or finance your Toro Wheel Horse tractor at only 12.9% interest. No matter which plan you choose, you're guaranteed top performance with a Toro Wheel Horse tractor. But hurry, you must buy your tractor now to qualify for this great deal. Stop by Coast to Coast Home and Auto today.
Today, more than ever, personal safety is a real concern. With a cellular phone from East Metro Communications, help is just a phone call away. East Metro Communications, an authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular, is located at 7115 Highway 278 in Covington. Go by and let their staff help you reach your calling. That's East Metro Communications, 786-6796. Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Join the millions who save billions the annuity way. Your auto owner's insurance agent can show you a safe and systematic way to save. Auto owners no-load tax-deferred annuities credit high-interest earnings to your savings program. All auto owners' investments are of the highest quality. No junk bonds or real estate ventures. See your no-problem auto owner's agent and save the annuity way.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street, Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213, your auto owner's agent.
Auto owners, the no-problem people.
Where can you find the best entertainment on television? On HBO, on Covington Cable TV. HBO features the best in box office movies, the best original movies, the best in entertainment. For HBO, call Covington Cable TV at 385-2044. For the best in movies, the best in entertainment, it's HBO. Call Covington Cable TV, 385-2044. 385-2044.
Charles Evans Nissan would like to remind you the summer's almost over, and so is the opportunity to get sizzling savings on specially selected vehicles. Stop in for a test drive before the sun sets on this super sale. A 1994 Nissan pickup, only $10,995. Red hot deals on cars ranging from an 88 Honda CRX to a 95 Nissan Maxima and dozens more. Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Iris Drive off exit 41 in Conyers, 922-7600.
back to Homer Sharp Stadium here at Newton High School. Mount Zion's band taking the field right now and performing a Beatles classic, A Hard Day's Night, and I think that may be the tone for a lot of football games, and there have been a lot of people who it's been a hard day's night for here at Homer Sharp Stadium. Paul Dailey.
I'll tell you what, if Newton County doesn't make some adjustments at halftime and don't give up if they give up the big play again in the second half, they're going to have a hard day's night here at Homer Sharp Stadium. But I got a lot of confidence in Coach Cook. He's going to make adjustments, and this is a very important game. Even though it's not a region game, it's a very important game starting out the home opener for the Newton Rams.
As far as the Newton Rams team is concerned, we've seen a little bit of the second team on the field. They've had a chance to gain some experience. That's been nice, but it may also cost them here as they're down by a point. And you know, with the first team's ability to make the big play, that perhaps on one of those two drives where the second team was in, we might have seen a big play.
Yeah, and Coach Cook, I don't really know. I didn't talk to him today. I don't know exactly what's happening as far as bringing in the second team. You know, that's something you see maybe when you're up 23, 24 points, but he must have a lot of confidence in the second group. He's got a lot of key players out there that play second string, like Doyle Baker. He's going to be having a lot of playing time this year. Also, some of the other running backs, Gary Brown at receiver, playing the second team. But I think it may have been a little bit early to be pulling out your second string in this early in the season also.
Well, they're definitely going to get experience, if nothing else, but I have a feeling if the Rams do fall behind, that second team probably won't take the field in the second half.
No, I don't think, unless they get up real big, unless Newton County comes out and scores a lot of points here in the third quarter, I don't think you're going to see the second teamers out there very much in the second half.
Why don't we go ahead and go straight to the first half statistics while we have a chance? And while Chris Bridges has disappeared on us here, we'll round him up momentarily, I'm sure, and we'll have a chance to talk to him. But let's go ahead and give you some statistics from the first. Johnny Perryman, 1 carry, -3 yards. All in all, for the Newton Rams, 15 carries for 129 yards. So when they touch the football, a lot of yardage on the ground. They've scored a couple of touchdowns. They have fumbled the ball twice. But of the 129 yards, Paul, the interesting thing is, and you can call this good news and bad news, of the 129 yards they've gained on the ground, 97 of them have been on 2 plays, the 42-yard touchdown run from Watley and the 55-yard run from Price.
Now, I'll tell you what, early in the first quarter, we didn't see a lot of success with the running game with Newton County, but after they completed a couple of passes, that opened up the run game for Newton County, and look for them to come back and do that in the second half, maybe to try a little bit of the quick step pass, the 3-step drop passes to open up that running game in the middle.
Rams had a couple of effective ones in the first half, talking about the passing game. Cleary was 2 for 7 in the first half for 40 yards. Baker was 1 for 1, the 14-yard pass to Gary Brown. I think we'll see more of that, by the way, as the weeks roll along. All in all, the team, 3 out of 8, 54 yards, 183 yards total offense from this Newton Ram team. They had 6 first downs in the first half. You at least like to see that the team is able to pick up the big first down games. The big drive here, 8 plays, 82 yards. This one came in the first quarter. Started with a couple of rushes for a total of 1 yard on the first couple of plays. A penalty against Mount Zion, 10 yards, pushed the Rams farther upfield. Then Alex Watley broke loose for 14. 1 play later, right after Jonathan Price's run, we saw a pass from Cleary to Stephen Smith, 23 yards there, another first down. Then on third down, a couple of plays later, there goes Alex Watley, 42 yards. So you have to wonder about it. It's kind of feast or famine for the Ram offense.
Yeah, they've had a couple of big plays, and I think that's a credit to the opening it up with the pass. One thing that I want to mention is I think the Newton County offense is missing a key player, Patrick Gaither there. He's the one who runs at fullback, and I think he's very well missed here tonight. He's got a ailing elbow, and he's not playing tonight. And that's one of the things you got to have in there is a big fullback to establish the inside game. And right now they're having to wait till the passing game opens it up before they can run anybody on the inside.
That's what we see so far here, the analysis of your 2 commentators for tonight's game. And in just a moment, we're going to talk with another resident expert on the Newton Rams and about football in general. That, of course, Chris Bridges with the Covington News. You see his First and 10 segment as well as all of his articles about the Rams and their 1995 season. You'll get a chance to hear the voice here in a couple minutes. We'll talk to him about this first half. Right now, it is Mount Zion 15 and the Newton Rams 14 at halftime. We'll be back after this. Newton Ram football on WGFS AM 1430.
At Newton Federal Savings and Loan, some of this summer's hottest numbers are now available on CD, certificates of deposit. For attractive interest rates plus exceptional personal service and the strength of Newton Federal behind your money, take a close look at us today. When you do, you'll like what you see. Newton Federal Savings and Loan, FDIC insured. Substantial penalty for early withdrawal.
It's Ace Paint Days going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square in Covington. Check out these great buys. Ace 5-Star Flat Latex Wall Paint, only $10.97 a gallon. Ace 5-Star Semi-Gloss Latex Enamel, only $12.97 a gallon. And check out these prices for an 8-ounce Elmer's Glue All or Carpenter's Wood Glue or 5-minute epoxy or contact cement, only $1.47 each. And don't forget the Krylon Market Spray Paint, only $1.99. It's Ace Paint Days going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square in Covington.
Hello?
Hello?
Morning, sir.
Where are you?
I'm still undercover, eating breakfast at Shoney's.
I sent you there hours ago to find out why everyone goes to Shoney's for breakfast instead of my restaurant.
I think it's Shoney's all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, sir.
You think?
Well, I'm only halfway through the 40 delicious breakfast items.
Shoney's breakfast bar features 40 items?
All you care to eat, sir.
No.
At one very low price.
No.
Everything from freshly prepared favorites like scrambled eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, to tasty surprises like real buttermilk biscuits and real sticky buns, sir.
Come back, Ludlow. We've got work to do.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry?
I'm so impressed with their all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, I got a job at Shoney's.
But you're my best busboy.
Shoney's is my destiny.
But, son...
See you, Dad. Tell Mom all right, okay?
Okay.
The best money manager around is a checking account from the Bank of Covington. It's easy to keep track of your income and all your expenses with your checkbook and the detailed monthly statements we send you. It lets you see where you might save money, and it really helps in balancing your budget. If you're not already enjoying such financial assistance, learn all the advantages of a personal checking account at one of the convenient Bank of Covington locations. The Bank of Covington, member FDIC.
If you're a serious sports fan crying out for serious sports talk, then you need to tune in to WGFS AM 1430 every Saturday between 10 and 12 as we bring you Sports Source Weekly, sports talk for the serious sports fan. Todd Q. Chapman and Kevin Holden will be fielding your phone calls. We'll be discussing a variety of sports on the professional level, collegiate level, as well as local high school sports. That is Sports Source Weekly, heard every Saturday between 10 and 12 with Todd Q. Chapman and Kevin Holden, right here on WGFS AM 1430.
Back live here at Homer Sharp Stadium where the Newton County Rambler Band is out performing for the spectators here. We've got a full house here at Newton County. I'm Paul Dailey, and with me now is Chris Bridges of the Covington News, and we're going to talk about the first half, what we saw. We've me and Kevin Holden has talked about what we've seen from the first half. Chris, what do you think? What do you think about what we've seen so far in this first half?
Well, it's quite a contrast from last week from an offensive standpoint. As obvious by the score, 15-14, you got more points in the first half this week than we scored in the whole game last week. It was good to see Newton get its offense on track, and easily, I think, on their first drive or their first possession, they came close to matching last week's game totals as far as total offense. So it seems like the offense maybe is getting it in overdrive a little bit, and so we don't have to worry about maybe any more of those just one first down games. It's kind of interesting. I kind of felt like Newton kind of controlled the tempo of the game in the first half, but you look up at the scoreboard and you see the Rams are trailing 15-14. So they're going to have to come out in the second half and try to cut down on some of the big plays by Mount Zion. They've been able to bust a few runs up the middle and around the end. Mount Zion's a much improved football team over last year. I know they didn't finish but 2-8, and kind of interesting, they lost a lot of starters from that team, so I don't know if you'd call it a complete rebuilding or maybe a rebuilding of the thinking process and trying to get a new attitude into the team, but they've looked impressive tonight, and Newton, like I said before, Newton has also played better tonight, offensively and defensively, has some good defensive plays as well, but we're sitting here at halftime down a point.
But one thing I want to get your opinion of, in the first half we saw Newton County come out and establish the quick passing game, which opened up the inside game as far as running for Jonathan Price and also Alex Watley. One of the things I was kind of confused about, me and Kevin was talking about this earlier, was Coach Cook deciding to bring in his second unit. Now early, late in the first quarter and also in the second quarter, he brought in the second unit with only a 6 or 7 point lead. What kind of strategy do you think that is?
Well, I noticed that too, and at a first glance, it might have just appeared, well, he was just putting in Doyle Baker, who's the backup quarterback who Coach Cook has said will get some playing time throughout the year, but it wasn't just Doyle Baker. Like you said, it was a completely different offensive unit out there, different receivers, different running backs, different linemen. The only thing I can think of maybe is just trying to give the guys a little bit of a breather and it didn't appear like he had the first unit out of there, down here on the sideline, chewing them out or getting on them or anything. So I think it might have just been, it's a little more humid tonight, a little warmer than it was last week. So maybe it's just trying to give him a little bit of a breather. And I think he was doing that at times while they were ahead. And I know there at Newton's last possession of the first half, he had him in there again. So maybe it's just might be that rest factor, just try to give him a little bit of a breather since it's so humid tonight, plus the fact Newton has so many guys that are going both ways.
Well, you're exactly right. There's a lot of players that go both ways on offense and defense. But what happens is, I remember when I was playing, one of the things I hated to do was come out of the ball game, because you start to form a tempo and you start getting in the flow of the ball game, and all of a sudden the second team goes in there. That kind of, from a player standpoint, it may be something that you don't want to see, but then again, you can't really second-guess your head coach. I know Coach Cook has got something under his sleeve. He definitely wants to get these guys some playing time, especially Doyle Baker. He wants Doyle Baker to get a lot of playing time, because he is going to take over this Newton County offense probably next year. What do you think is going to happen in the second half? Do you think Coach Cook will stay with his first string, or do you think he'll do the same in the second half?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, maybe, especially in the third quarter, if he went with the second unit, maybe on a possession or two. But I think once the fourth quarter gets here, I would really think he would probably stick with the first line guys. And when you get to the fourth quarter, you just pretty much have to suck it up and go. And that's probably what's going to happen in the second half.
Well, one of the questions I really wanted to ask you, I didn't ask you last week in Avondale, but you got a paper to put out tomorrow, right? So, you're watching the game tonight, and last week you was watching the game in Avondale, and yet the results was in the paper the next day. I get it delivered there in my house, and it delivered at 6 o'clock in the morning. So after the ball game, when everybody goes home and I go home, apparently you don't.
Right. Well, I kind of know how the football coaches feel. I know my day starts about the same time that theirs does on Friday. I'm usually at work around 8 or 8:30, and I'll probably roll in my house tonight about 1 o'clock. But that's just one good thing about the way our paper is published. We're able to get the Friday night football results in the Saturday paper. I know that's a big thing. The game is still on people's mind the next day. If you wait 2, 3, 4 days, people tend to already be thinking about the next game, and the game on Friday night already kind of slipping into memory a little bit. So this way people can get up on Saturday mornings, pick up the paper if they weren't able to make it to the game, and they can see what happened.
Well, we really do appreciate the support of the Covington News. Ron Stokes has done a great job of letting you guys do your job and get that stuff in the paper. And it's nothing better than to wake up on Saturday morning, go out there to the driveway and pick up that Covington News and sit down with a cup of coffee and read what you have to say about the Friday night ball game. What happens if they play on Saturday? That will go into the next Thursday's game, Thursday's paper?
Luckily, if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe there are any Saturday games during the regular season. They may come upon something like that once they get to the playoffs. But if that ever does become the case, then it will have to wait until our next edition, which won't be until the next Thursday.
Well, good, Chris. We appreciate you being here with us tonight and giving us some of your aspects of your look on the game, because I tell you what, me and Kevin think a lot alike on these games, and it's good to get another opinion, especially from someone who covers sports like you do. And again, we appreciate all the support that the Covington News does for the Newton County football program. And we're going to take this time out as the Newton County Rambler Band finishes up here at halftime. We're going to give it back to Todd Chapman in the studios, and we'll be back with Newton County's second half in just a moment.
We are back from Homer Sharp Stadium. It is halftime, and the captains are going to be taking the field in just a moment. Just one captain coming out for the Rams, two of them coming out for the Mount Zion Bulldogs. We've got Brian St. Jake's out there for Mount Zion. He's also going out there with Marcos Candelaria. Haven't had a chance to call his name very much tonight. Stephen Smith goes out for the Newton Rams. It is 15-14, and while we have a chance here, Paul Dailey, why don't we go ahead and go forth with Big Dog's picks?
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, I did pretty good last week. Last week we did 6 college games, 3 pro games, and also a NASCAR. I'm real proud of my NASCAR pick. Let's go back to college. South Carolina at Georgia. I picked Georgia, and they won big, 42-23, so I won that game. Michigan at Illinois. Michigan won that game, and I picked them. North Carolina at Syracuse. I hate to do it, but I went with North Carolina. They bit me. Syracuse won the ball game. I did not win anything there. Florida State at Duke. I picked Florida State to win big. The spread was 26. They won real big, 70-29. Colorado at Wisconsin. I picked Colorado. Good job. They won. Alabama at Vanderbilt. Big disappointment. Alabama won the game, but not by 14 points, so a loss there. Carolina at Atlanta Falcons. I picked the Falcons. They didn't cover the 9. They won the game, but did not cover a loss. Cleveland at New England. The spread was 3. that's a pick 'em. It was 3 points. New England won the game 14-17. Houston at Jacksonville. I picked Houston. Good job there. Houston won 10-3. The NASCAR, this is the one I was really proud of. NASCAR race at Darlington Raceway. I picked Jeff Gordon to win, and guess who won? Jeff Gordon. So you NASCAR fans out there, you better listen up to Big Dog's picks because they got a big race in Richmond tomorrow night under the lights. Let's go to this week's picks. Georgia at Tennessee. That's the tomorrow night's ball game on ESPN. I tell you what, 12.5 points to Tennessee. I think Georgia's going to be able to sneak in there. I don't know if they're going to win, but I know they'll get within 12.5. So go with Georgia. Virginia at NC State. You know who I'm going with there. NC State big. Florida at Kentucky. The spread is 27. I think Steve Spurrier, as much as I don't want to agree with him, I believe he'll beat Kentucky by 27. Poor old Bill Curry. This will be his last year there. Florida State at Clemson. The spread is 21.5, but I believe Clemson, they play really good at Death Valley. Go with Clemson on that one. Notre Dame at Purdue. Oh, Lou Holtz, he's in a lot of trouble. Notre Dame is favored 9.5. I'm going to go with them. Purdue's a strong team, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame. South Carolina at Arkansas. I like Arkansas in that game. Atlanta at the 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 13. Go with the 49ers big. Miami at New England. New England's got a great quarterback in Drew Bledsoe. You better go with New England. Seattle at San Diego. Hey, I visited San Diego this summer. It's a great place. I'm going to go with them. They got 9 points. But NASCAR, Richmond International Speedway, as much as I hate to do this, and I know a lot of my NASCAR buddies know it, I've got to go with the black 3 car. He's eager and wanting to win that race. I don't want to bet on him. He's a Chevrolet driver, but you Ford buddies of mine, we're going to have to go. I'm going to have to go with the 3 car on the NASCAR pick. And maybe I'll eat my words next week. But that's the Big Dog's picks for this week. Last week I went 7 for 10. Not too bad. Batting 700 at this point. So there's the Big Dog's picks for week number 2, Kevin.
700 could get you a Major League contract, I think, as a matter of fact. Now, you say the number 3 car in a NASCAR race, which belongs to Dale Earnhardt, is that right?
Dale Earnhardt. He made the paper, the Atlanta Constitution, in an article today. So Jeff Gordon made an article last week. So I'm going to go with superstition here, and I'm going to go, as much as I hate it, I'm going to go with the 3 car.
Quickly, before the second half kickoff here from Mount Zion, let us tell you about a couple of quick things. First of all, there is a Newton County Touchdown Club work day at the weight room at the high school. They'll be putting in bleachers for the JV and 9th grade games that will be played at the high school this year. That'll be about 8:30 or 9 tomorrow. Anybody who wants to come out there, it doesn't have to be a Touchdown Club member, you can go out there. Also, tomorrow night here at Homer Sharp Stadium at 7 p.m., Newton and Eastside, 9th grade game. You know that one's going to be big, so come on out. If you're here, come back tomorrow. If you're not, come out tomorrow and watch that game. Second half kickoff, Peyton Daughtry kicking off and taking it at the 31-yard line is Danny Sisko. It's a fair catch, 29-yard kick, and Rams have decent field position to start this second half. Now, what did Jack Cook tell his players at halftime? What's your Big Dog's picks on what Jack Cook had to say?
Well, I tell you what, I think Coach Cook just made the adjustments on defense, saying, look, we need to squeeze the ball down on the inside. They're picking up most of their yardage on the reverse or the misdirections plays. He's telling his defensive ends to stay at home and his linebackers to stay at home, and I think that adjustment will help the Newton defense.
Last year, the Rams scored 33 points in the third quarter, gave up only 7. Here's Jonathan Price. He is running still. Found himself a pretty good hole, and he has 4 yards or so out to the 36-yard line. And Price starts off the second half well, and he was also had a good hole opened up for him, so the offensive line looked good, at least on the first play.
One good thing I saw there is Jonathan Price was running through the line of scrimmage and was about to get hit, and he covered the ball up with both hands, and that's something Coach Cook and the offensive backs coach talked to him about at halftime, I'm sure. And good thing that I'm glad to see that he covered up with both hands.
And the Ram opponents in the third quarters last year scored only 7 points. There's Alex Watley. Watley with some breakaway speed, but the ball comes loose. Mount Zion may have this football. It's past midfield. Mount Zion has recovered the football. Watley rushing hard, though. He certainly found some breakaway speed. The unfortunate thing, he was hit in just the wrong spot, and Mount Zion has the football.
We got a lot of the Newton County players coming off real discouraged, but that's one thing you can do. I mean, you're going to have mistakes like that. Alex Watley hadn't been back there very long, and he's going to make some mistakes. That's his first fumble. He's probably discouraged, but he had a big gain on the play, so that's a positive to that. But you're just going to have to hold on to the ball a little bit better.
So Mount Zion from their own 49 starts this one, and this is crucial for the Ram defense. If they don't have a good series of downs here, we could be in for a very long second half here. Clemens takes the football, and a little trickery to Damian Smith, but right there for the Newton Rams is Jamiko Usher to bring him down.
Exactly what I just talked about just a minute ago, Kevin, was getting the defensive ends, the outside linebackers, the inside linebackers to stay home, because what they're going to do is that misdirection to number 6. can't get his name, Damian Smith. He's really good at doing that misdirection and squirming through the line, but James Jackson and Jamaica Usher did a good job of staying home, even though he did pick up 3-4 yards.
Ryan St. Jake's one of the receivers for Mount Zion. Also, Antonio Turner, he's been involved in a couple of big plays. He splits out toward the Mount Zion sideline, farthest away from us here at the press box at Homer Sharp Stadium. This give to Marshall, and Marshall is stuffed. Marshall may have a yard, maybe a little bit more, and it's going to be 3rd down and 5, and here's the big test.
What I'm seeing from Mount Zion is every play they've ran on offense, whenever they go in motion, the ball goes to that side. Now, that's something that the defensive linebackers and defensive coaches need to pick up on, and I'm sure they have. You don't want to guarantee that to happen every play, every time someone goes in motion to tend that way, but every play thus far in this game, or early in the 3rd quarter, every time they run a motion play, they go to that side of the ball.
3rd down and 4 for Mount Zion. 2 straight rushing plays, and this time it's going to be a passing play. It is up, and it would have been intercepted by Gary Brown. Only trouble was Kirk Wells kind of touched the football with his hand and tipped it up just enough so Gary Brown could intercept it. So sort of a little reverse scenario there. Wells looked more like the defensive back.
Yeah, I tell you what, Gary Brown had his hands up there like he was fixing to make the interception, and Kirk Wells, he's a kind of a tall, lanky guy. He just kind of stuck his arm up there and kind of misplayed the ball a little bit, and Gary Brown was unable to make the interception. But it's going to bring up 4th down, and Danny Cisco is going to be deep to receive the punt.
Well, you can't guarantee anything with this Mount Zion team, but Clements is back, and we are expecting a punt. A punting situation is exactly what we're talking about here, and it's a very high snap. The kick does get off in good shape. Cisco going to let it bounce at the 11-yard line, and it will stop right there. Good kick. 44-yard punt there from Clements. That backs Newton way back into their own territory to start this drive.
The punt had a lot of hang time there, and that's one thing the Mount Zion coaching staff definitely wants from their punter. Danny Cisco made a good choice there of not picking the ball up and taking off with it because he didn't have any momentum going forward, so he just kind of let the ball lay down there. And Rams are down by 1 point to the visiting Mount Zion Bulldogs with the ball on the Mount Zion 1-yard line, 4th down. What will Newton County do, Kevin?
4th down and 1 is going to be a tough call here for Jack Cook and his Newton Rams. You know how much Coach Cook likes to run the football. He has confidence, I believe, in that first-string offense. You might try to see him push it in just one more time. And Price has shown some good stuff on this drive, so we may see Price with the football.
One thing I know Newton County is going to go for it because Stephen Smith is over here on the sideline. So what they've done is they brought in some beef, and they're just going to let the guys. They're going to run it straight up the middle, and that's just power football, and let's see what they got in store.
Watley and Price, which one of them is going to take the football? Cleary can also keep it himself. You know he's a big guy. He gives it to Watley. Touchdown, Newton Rams. Alex Watley pushes it across. He had just enough of a hole to make it through. 20-15 the score. Your Newton Rams back on top, and what was almost a heart-stopping play and nearly became a bad one for the Newton Rams turns out to be 6 on the scoreboard.
Good play there by Newton County. They brought in Jamaica Usher to play guard. They brought in Britt Mass. They brought in James Jackson, T.J. Harp, and they put them on one side of the ball, and they just ran straight over them. And it looks like Newton County is going to go for 2.
So the point after attempt, Rams are going to try to go back up by 7. Not a bad idea at all. And taking the ball is Price, and they have 2 points as Price goes in uncontested. Not a single Mount Zion defender touched him, so Price goes in, given 2.5 yards, and the 2 points for the Newton Rams. That's important there, Paul, because up by 7 points now, Mount Zion can't just score a touchdown, and they can't just get 2 field goals to come back on you. You know with Peyton Daughtry, they could get 2 field goals easily.
Yeah, good thinking there by Coach Cook. What really made that play, Kevin, was Alex Watley had a great lead block that led Jonathan Price into the end zone. So, you know, in the paper tomorrow, Chris Bridges will recognize Jonathan Price as making that 2 extra points. But Alex Watley needs some credit on that, too, because he had an outstanding block on the play.
10 plays, 89 yards on the drive. Bear in mind there was a 15-yard penalty after a 17-yard run from Alex Watley, a 30-yard pass from Cleary to Stephen Smith. So the Rams still getting it done with those big plays.
The big play was definitely the pass to Stephen Smith. And look for them to do that again, because as long as Mount Zion has single coverage on those 2 receivers, Danny Cisco, Stephen Smith, or Gary Brown, if he's out there, there's nobody out there that's going to be able to handle them single coverage.
So Smith will be kicking off. 22-15. Newton Rams on top. A little less than 5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter as the Rams will try to go to 2-0. By the way, tough battle for Newton next week. They go to Reed Stadium, take on the Heritage Patriots. Here's a kick from Stephen Smith, a good one. It falls over the head of number 6, Damian Smith, and he'll be back in the end zone, and we're going to have another touchback. So Stephen Smith having another good kickoff game.
Good job, and that's exactly what you want to do. As soon as the ball hits the end zone in high school football, it's a dead ball and bring it out to the 20. So it gives the defense good field position. It backs up the offense in pretty poor position. So exactly what Coach Cook wanted from his kicker, Stephen Smith.
Mount Zion has only had 4 plays so far in this game. They've gained a total of 6 yards here in the first part of the third quarter. That's all they've managed to get because they've only seen the ball on 1 possession. It was a 3 and out. They'll start 1st and 10 on their own 20 this time. They started at their own 49 last time out. With Jeremy Clements, the quarterback, goes up on 1st down. His pass is complete. St. Jake's is the receiver. Catches the ball at the 25 and does a lot of east-west running, and finally down at the 27, and here comes another yellow hanky, Paul.
Yeah, it's another late hit, and this time it's going to be on Newton County. Looked like one of the guys were a little bit aggressive. Don't know which one that was, but I tell you what, that Brian St. Jake's has got a lot of moves. He out-faked Chris Middlebrooks, but Alex Watley gave him a good stick and brought him down, and one of the Newton County defenders kind of just jumped on the pile, and that's going to penalize him 15 yards and give Mount Zion a big break and excellent field position.
It's funny because the first game of this year, when the Rams took on Redan, we were talking about how sharp the teams looked, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's really where they looked the sharpest. Looked like the Jamboree helped them there. Here you wouldn't know they've been through a game or a Jamboree.
No, you really wouldn't, because they've got a lot of mental mistakes, late hits, penalties, clips, and just something that you don't want to see. Definitely, here in a game like the status of tonight.
You look at the game film of this one and the Redan game, you would have thought this was game 1 of the 95 season, no doubt. Clements gives him the ball's on the ground. Thornton fumbled the football at midfield. I think Mount Zion still has the football, so the Bulldogs catch a big break there. Thornton had broken through the line pretty quick, but he was hit by one man, made him fumble the football.
A good break there by Newton County is they didn't recover the ball, but Thornton, someone jabbed the ball loose from him, but they wasn't going to make the tackle, and he was off to clear sailing all the way down the field, so he just lost the handle. And was luckily one of his teammates was able to jump on the ball, but it's going to bring up 2nd down and 1.5, and the ball is on the 50-yard line.
And give some credit to the linebackers who've been filling in for Patrick Gaither out there. Both Britt Mask and the other linebacker have done a terrific job. Here's Thornton busting through the line. He's got a yard, maybe 2 yards, and that'll be probably enough for the 1st down. It was a 2nd down and 2 play, and it looks like Thornton is down to about the 47. They needed to go to the 48 for the 1st down.
Britt Mask is filling in for Patrick Gaither, a linebacker, and also Jeremy Hitson. Both of them are doing a great job of sticking it up in there and playing good. Jeremy Hitson and both Britt Mask are smaller guys. They're giving away a lot of poundage. And you look over on the other side, Jamaico Usher, he's a big old guy, so I guarantee you Mount Zion is taking advantage of the small linebacker.
1st down and 10 here for Clements and the Bulldogs. He gives to Damian Smith, and Damian goes down after about a 4-yard gain. Bring up a 2nd and 6 here. Mount Zion has gone about 20 yards on this drive, 35 in all, but 15 coming from the penalty, 20 from their own yardage.
And what's so aggravating about this is it's straight up the middle, just little misdirections, and they're putting a lot of yards on the Newton County defense, and it's just backing them up. And they do have the first-string defense out there, and they're just kind of getting manhandled at this point.
Bryant St. Jake splits wide to the Newton sideline. Clements is going to be looking for him. The pass is up, and it is complete, but immediately St. Jake's is hit hard by 3 men there on the Newton Ram defense. Kelvin Thomas and Chris Middlebrooks both over on the weak side and got him in a hurry.
What that was a quick 3-step drop and out, quick pass over there in the flats to Brian St. Jake's. And what you need from the defense on the Newton County side of the ball is you need your defensive end to step up and put some kind of confusion up, or some kind of obstacle. And T.J. Harper went up to try to block the pass and got hit right in his knee, and it looked like he may be a little shaken up, but need a little bit more pass rush from the defensive line. They're not doing that at this point.
Mount Zion threatening to cut into that 7-point lead. 3rd down, about 1.5 yards from the Newton 37. Thornton is going to keep it this time. He may have gotten that 1st down, but it looks like he may have fallen about 1 yard, maybe a half a yard short. He is close, though. If not, it'll bring up 4th and short yardage.
Looks like it really depends on the spot of the referees, but they're going to sit there and signal 4th down. So this may be a call, and don't look for Mount Zion to punt the ball here.
They hang on to it, 4th down, and 1 yard to go. 1:27 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Good to be back home in front of the home folks here, and unfortunately there have been some sloppy points for the Newton Rams, but they've had a chance to put some points on the board. That's been a key, Paul.
Big play here, 4th down and about a half a yard to go for the Mount Zion Bulldogs.
Clements over center with 4th and 1, and they give and maybe the first down there. Carrying the football looked like Cornell Kirk. It was.
Jamaica Usher sitting there saying it's our ball, that he got plenty of yardage to get the first down. It's going to bring up first down. I don't know. Now, it depends on the spot. From what we're seeing right here, it looks like a first down, but the referees are going to sit here and take a measurement.
Chain gang is going to be coming on, and they'll have a measurement for the first down, but you can clearly see the first down marker is from our vantage point to the right of the 36-yard line, where the ball to the left, closer to the Newton goal line. So I don't think it's going to be much trouble here with this measurement. Should be a first down, and it certainly is.
By the length of a football.
Tell me football's not a game of inches. It'll go as a 1-yard gain in the book, but it's probably more like a 6-inch gain or a 10-inch gain there for Mount Zion. They do get the first down, though. They're now at the Newton 36-yard line. Time continuing to tick away here in the third quarter. We have 1:02 remaining now. Rams put that 1 touchdown across, and the 2-point conversion put them back up by 7. Looking for the pass was Clements, and he is hit hard and sacked. The man who made that one, Jamaica Usher, and he's been called a lot tonight. He was all over Clements from the weak side, from his blind side.
Good job there by Jamaica Usher. They had a little stun on. Jamaica was headed inching up towards the line of scrimmage, and one of the linemen for the Mount Zion Bulldogs forgot to pick him up, and he just went straight across the line of scrimmage, jumped on Jeremy Clements' back, and rode him to the ground. Big play there for Jamaica Usher and the Newton County defense.
The advantage for Newton, the disadvantage for Mount Zion. That first down sack means now it's 2nd and 16, and now Mount Zion has to dig into their bag of tricks and see what they can find.
Look for Mount Zion here to try to hook up with Kurt Wells, maybe across the middle. They're going to probably try to do something like that.
So from the Newton 42, they've got 16 yards to go here, 3 plays to do it. Clements rolling out, still looking for someone. That pass is up, and it is going to be complete. And touchdown, Mount Zion Bulldogs. Alex Watley let Bryant St. Jake's run free. No, he's out of bounds. One referee had signaled touchdown. Another signals that he is out of bounds at the 2-yard line. I'm not sure if this will matter in the long run, but the Rams may have caught themselves a break there. He had to cut toward the sideline, very close to the sideline, to make the catch. And Alex Watley's not happy with himself. He let St. Jake sort of run free there.
I don't know. Alex Watley's really upset with himself. What happened was Jeremy Clements kind of rolled out to the right side and waited on Brian St. Jakes to put a move on Alex Watley, put an outstanding move on him, and broke free, and was wide open down there on about the 10-yard line, made the reception, and was kind of trying to tightrope the boundary down there, but actually stepped out of bounds on the 2-yard line.
Really time for the Newton County defense, Newton Ram defense, to get things going here. Ball on the 2-yard line, a 7-point lead, the end of the third quarter. We're going to be back with more exciting Newton Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
It's Ace Paint Days going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the square in Covington. Check out these great buys. Ace 7-star satin latex house and trim, only $15.97 a gallon. Or how about a wire brush, only $1.97? Or an Ace all-purpose drop cover or plastic roller tray, only $1.77 each. It's Ace Paint Days going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the square in Covington.
Welcome back to Homer Sharp Stadium, where the Newton County Rams are on top of the Mount Zion Bulldogs, 22-15, but Mount Zion is threatening on the 2-yard line. Starting the fourth quarter, back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Tell me how big the 2-point conversion looks right now. If they put it across, it's 22-21. And then if you're Jackie Green, you've got a real decision to make. You can go for 2, go for the lead here, go for 1, and then have it be a tie and hope that your offense can do more later.
Don't really know what they'll call, but hopefully Newton County can prevent them from getting in the end zone.
First down, 2 yards to go for the Bulldogs.
4 downs to go, 2 yards here for the Mount Zion team after that 40-yard pass completion. Brian St. Jake stepped out of bounds at the 2. Here's Thornton. Did he make it into the end zone? I think not. He's very close. He's about at the half-yard line. So Thornton, 1.5-yard gain, and they've got a half a yard now and 3 downs to push it across.
Great play there by T.J. Harper and Chris Middlebrooks. They teamed up on Thornton and just dragged him down and probably gained maybe a half a yard, but big play on the right side of the Newton County defensive line to prevent Thornton from entering the end zone.
You know how big that Newton Ram defense was late in the game when Redan was pushing the ball right down close to the Newton Ram goal line. that Ram defense stepped it up to a level we haven't seen them perform at. I think even last year we didn't see that much as far as a goal line stand.
Their backs were to the wall last Friday night, and their backs are again to the wall here in the fourth quarter.
Second play of the fourth quarter from the 1-yard line. Thornton pushing bodies across, pushing. And the signal has not been made yet. I don't think he made it in. I think we're at about the quarter-yard line, or maybe even closer than that to the goal line.
And as long as he does not cross that plane, the referees are not going to signal touchdown, but he's as close as you can get. Actually, it's a little bit further than we think. He's probably got about 12, 14 inches away.
Right now it's just basically a big mass of bodies just pushing on one another right in the middle as they're giving to Thornton, that big fullback. He's only a sophomore, and he's been a major reason why Mount Zion has been able to put points on the board tonight. And an official's timeout has been called.
Official timeout called on the field.
10 minutes, 34 seconds left with the ball on the 1-yard line, 22-15. Been surprised we haven't heard a little more from this Newton Ram crowd. They seem kind of docile for a fourth quarter, don't they?
Yeah, I tell you what, that's kind of an odd call there by the officials, too, as we look over the crowd. The officials saw Thornton kind of limp up to the line of scrimmage and called a timeout, official timeout, to get him out of the ball game, and that probably shook up everything Mount Zion had in store for the Newton County defense. But I'm sure they was going to give it to him, and now the referee made him go out of the ball game because of an injury.
Wonder what that'll do for the Mount Zion team. Now they have to reconfigure their plans. They probably would have just as much liked to gone up there with a limping Marshall Thornton and just tried to push it across.
Well, I tell you what, if I was Mount Zion, I'd have Brian St. Jakes right in that backfield because he's got a lot of talent back there.
Here comes Clements over center, 3rd down and 12 inches. Taking the football and scoring on this one is Damian Smith. This time they went to the corner. Everybody was up the middle except for Gary Brown, and Gary Brown one-on-one couldn't keep him from the 1-yard gain. That's tough to do.
They're having a tough time out there. Kelvin Thomas is getting sucked into the middle, and Gary Brown is having to play support. And Kelvin's just having a tough time reading that misdirection wing back, and hopefully he can make an adjustment here in the fourth quarter.
22-21 now if you're Jackie Green. You're going to go for the extra point. Peyton Daughtry is on. Guess what, folks? Looks like Jackie Green right here is going to go to tie up this game.
Not a bad move on the Mount Zion coaching staff's part. It's early in the fourth quarter, so go ahead and tie the ball game up and see what your team can do the rest of the 10 minutes left.
Kick is up, and it is good. And, folks, we have ourselves one serious battle from Homer Sharp Stadium. Fourth quarter, 10 minutes, 6 seconds left. We are tied at 22. We'll be back. More exciting Newton Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
The Bank of Covington offers full-service banking and convenient locations. And you can find what you want in a checking account, savings plan, simple interest loan, and 24-hour automatic banking that gives you access to over 8,000 ATMs throughout the Southeast and the USA. Just what you would expect from a leading financial institution. The Bank of Covington, member FDIC, an equal opportunity lender.
Back at Homer Sharp Stadium, where we've got a barn burner here in Covington, Georgia. The Mount Zion Bulldogs have traveled from Clayton County or Henry County, wherever that place is, and came over here into Newton County, and we've got a barn burner. 22-22 with 10 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. Back with your fourth quarter action, Kevin Holden.
All right, Paul Dailey, thank you very much. And to say the least, the Rams will be looking to shake it up a little, I would say, here in the fourth quarter.
They need to shake it up. Newton County's offense better shake it up, or they're going to walk out of here with their tails wagging.
Look out, Mount Zion. Newton Rams trying to do a little shaking of the offense here in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes, 6 seconds. We're tied at 22. And are we going to see another one of those kicks from Peyton Daughtry? I think we are. 10 folks to one side. Actually, 9 folks to one side, I should say. Daughtry at the 36-yard line. Kicks it straight on and straight up to about the 32-yard line, and Cisco will take it and be down at the 33. It's a 27-yard kick. They've been kicking it straight at Danny Cisco, and 27-yard kicks, they are either afraid of the return men here for Newton or just trying hopefully to get the football like they almost did the one time.
Well, if you want anybody on the Newton County Rams to touch the ball or catch the ball, it's going to be Danny Cisco because he's got those hands of Velcro. And looks like the Mount Zion coaching staff wanted to take advantage of what they saw in the first half, but it's just not working here.
Here comes 66 crucial yards here for this game with it tied at 22, and Richie Cleary leading him up here on first down. He's got a lot of room to run. He's going to keep it himself, and he's at the 40 and busts through to the 44-yard line. And, you know, Richie Cleary's a big quarterback, and he hit little Damian Smith pretty hard, and we see a yellow rag hit the ground.
Looks like Danny Sisko and one of the other players from the Mount Zion Bulldogs have a difference of opinion on whatever they were talking about. Maybe they were talking about the Tennessee-Georgia game, because you know Danny Sisko is a big Tennessee Volunteer fan, but looks like they're going to call a personal foul on both teams. It's going to be offsetting penalties, and why even throw the flag if you're going to do that?
Well, we've seen our share of the offsetting penalties tonight. Now, either the clock has really ticked down a lot or it reads wrong. That says 5:55, but we know with one of those bulbs out, it's supposed to be 9:55 left here in the fourth quarter. So I think some Newton Ram fans might be panicking right now. Say, look at that scoreboard, but it is 9:52 remaining in this ball game. Tied at 22. Price takes it at the 45. He's got room at the 50. Into open field at the 40. 35, 30. Brian St. Jakes from behind tackles him at the 25. Jonathan Price putting the Rams in good position. He got a hole, Paul, and he ran through it in a hurry.
I tell you what, we haven't seen exciting running like that out of Newton County since last year with Adrian Carr when he ever broke loose. Now, Jonathan Price is not the same statue as Adrian Carr, but Jonathan Price has got a lot of quick moves. Probably got a little bit quicker moves than Adrian Carr, but not the strong runner as Adrian. But I tell you what, he opened it up there and almost broke it for a touchdown.
Thought we might have another winder here. I know you weren't there live for that game, but you certainly heard that run quite a bit. Richie Cleary on this one is going to keep it himself. Looked like maybe a missed handoff there as Cleary gains a yard. It looked like he was looking to hand off. Maybe they missed the handoff.
Looks like the fullback, Alex Watley, or one of the guys, just went the wrong way, and Richie Cleary was there to hand it off, and there was nobody there. So he's a senior. He knows exactly what to do. Tuck the ball up under your shoulder and just run as best you can, and he only picked up about a yard and a half.
We've got a player down for the Newton Rams, and we're not able to see his number at the current moment, so we don't want to speculate as to who it might be out there on the field. But he's being tended to right now. One of the emergency folks is out there.
I don't know which player it was, but what he was doing, he was just standing there, and all of a sudden one of those cats reached up and bit him on the leg, one of those cramp cats. And I tell you what, in a kind of an early season game like this, those cramps or those little cats will come out and bite you right on the calf muscle, and that's one of the most painful things that you can endure. And the only thing you can do is get one of those paramedics or one of the coaches out there to kind of curl your toes up, and that's about the only thing that gets rid of those cramps.
We saw a lot of that the first week as well. Both of these weeks have been pretty hot nights, and football, as you know, is a weather. As far as weather for football, it's more of a cool weather sport. It's something for October and November, and sometimes you see this sort of thing in September.
I tell you what, the two-way players like T.J. Harper and Gary Brown and Stephen Smith and all those guys, I guarantee you they're really thankful for the weather tonight, because it is kind of a cool night. The weather's really clear. It's a full moon. If you're looking to the sky, full moon, that's scary for us police people. We got the moon dog here sitting beside us, and I tell you what, the police department, we always fear those things right there, full moons, because sometimes people act real crazy.
Has a little effect on the psychology of folks, I think, and it really is true that crazy things happen. That's exactly how the term lunatic got coined, as a matter of fact, from people acting crazy under the full moon.
It looks like it's Brett Mask over there that got the cramps. He's going to have to come out from one play, but he's under his own power, and he's running off the field, and he'll get that cramp out of his leg and be right back out there.
Tell me he's not a fierce competitor. First place he ran when he got up was toward the huddle, and they had to literally drag him away from it. Finally, he ran off the field. Second down and 9 from Mount Zion's 23-yard line. Cleary trying to lead this Newton Ram offense. They have this pro set formation here. This is their second game with it. Been much more successful this time than in that first game when they had 34 total yards. Cleary slips. They're going to call him down. He was dropping back to pass, and what happened? Lost his footing on the turf and slipped and went down to a knee at the 29. That's got to be heartbreaking, because it looked like he may have had something open downfield.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he had all day, too. I mean, there was nobody there to as far as rushing. He just kind of slipped back there on the 30 and just fell down. And as soon as you hit the ground here in high school and in college, you're down. It's not like the pros when they can get right back up and chunk the ball. He's going to be down. It's going to bring up third down and about 14 yards for the Newton Rams.
Horrible luck play there for the Rams, because they're now at third and big-time yardage. 6:36 left here. Cleary gives to Price. Little unexpected play. Price is trying to drive, but nothing there. Got in almost to the line of scrimmage, but it's going to be a long, long ways away. And with fourth down and a ton of yardage to go, you feel really bad now about that third down play with Cleary, because nothing that anybody did except the turf. That was the key for that one.
Looks like we're trying to see what's going to happen. Looks like Stephen Smith is going to come on and try to attempt a long field goal. We're talking maybe a 47, 46-yarder.
Ball resting on the 29-yard line. Fourth down, 15 yards to go. We're going to make a correction here. It's 7:54 left. I knew we'd have a trouble with that before the night was over with. There was 8 on the scoreboard a minute ago. one of the bulbs that's burnt out there makes it look like a 6, but right now we do know it's 7:45 remaining in the fourth quarter, so still plenty of time here, but here comes a 46-yard field goal attempt from Stephen Smith. It's a long attempt here. Comes the snap. It's a good one. Hold is good. Here's the kick. The kick nowhere near. It bounced at the 5, as a matter of fact. And so that one nowhere near the goalpost. They were pretty much out of range there and just trying to do something with fourth and extremely long yardage there.
Pretty bad snap there. Danny Sisco never really got a handle on the ball. Bad snap. Stephen Smith kind of had to readjust his approach to the ball and just never did really get a good whip action of his leg into the football and just kind of shanked it. But it's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Mount Zion Bulldogs on the 20-yard line.
7 minutes, 26 seconds left. The score still tied, 22 apiece. Alex Watley's going to come out of the action. Stephen Smith is in there. Here's a man who can do something big in the fourth quarter. They're having trouble with their assignments. Now they've got it together. And Damian Smith takes the football. Smith almost out to the 30-yard line. Good, powerful runner. You can tell that when he gets the football, keeps those legs in motion. That's how you get the big yards.
I'll tell you what, the Mount Zion coaching staff is taking advantage of Brett Mask being out of there. Brett Mask is filling in for Patrick Gaither, and that's a big duty to do for himself. But now Brett Mask is out, and you got your third-string linebacker in there, Jeremy Hitson. He's doing a wonderful job, did a great job early in the first half, but now Mount Zion is trying to take advantage of his inexperience.
Still a ton of time remaining in the fourth quarter of action, but I'll tell you what, an exciting one already shaping up here. He's going to hand off to Damian Smith again this time, and Smith has got some room. Now he cuts upfield. He's past the 40 to the 45-yard line, and right now Damian Smith has that intensity level up a notch.
I'll tell you what, I was sitting there watching, I was isolating on Jeremy Henson, and he stood up and did a good play of reading the running back, but all of a sudden a big offensive tackle come down and buried him, and it looks like he's going to come out of the game and get a little talking to by his coaching staff.
Emilio Reed comes into the action. Stephen Smith comes out, as does Hitson. Brian Edwards also comes out of the action. Edwards, a sophomore, but 257 pounds. Smith has fumbled the football on the 42-yard line. Who has the football? We'll check and see. I think it's Mount Zion. It is. The Bulldogs have recovered, and yet again, this is good luck for the Mount Zion Bulldogs. He fumbled the ball in the backfield this way. A lot of white jerseys right around it.
I'll tell you what, if you continue to fumble it, one of these days you're going to lose a fumble, and if Mount Zion continues to fumble, look for Newton Canyon to be able to jump on one. I tell you what, Jamaica Usher is giving away his blitz a little bit too early. He's going up to the line and kind of giving away his blitz, but every time he's done it, he's caused confusion in the backfield, so look for Newton Canyon to try that again here in the fourth quarter.
5:40 left now in the game. They're going to give to Smith on the delay this time, and he is back to about the 46-yard line, but again, the Newton Rams closing up that hole at the line of scrimmage. And misdirection there as they had a lot of folks going to one side and then ran Smith on kind of a reverse to the other sideline.
Greg Benson and Emilio Reed are doing a good job here in the second half of staying home and waiting for that misdirection play, and it stopped him there for a short gain.
For Mount Zion, they've had 7 consecutive rushing plays. Of course, they had to go to the rush when they were down at the Newton Ram 1. That was 3 of them. But they've gone with 4 straight rushing plays here, one of which was a fumble that was recovered. But they've gone to Smith every time. 4:58 left. And I think we have a fumble. No, we don't. That was a handoff to Marshall. It's just that Clements sort of fell forward afterwards, almost like there was a fumble. And Marshall Thornton does not have a first down, but he's close.
Again, D'Amico Usher was, again, blitzing the play. He's the one that kind of tripped up Jeremy Clements, but Jeremy Clements had already given the ball off, and was a big play on Mount Zion's part. It's going to bring up 4th and about 3.5, 4 yards, so here's the decision for the Mount Zion coaching staff.
4th and 3, 4 minutes, 26 seconds left. And again, this Newton Ram crowd is here, and they're here in high numbers, but they're really not on their feet. There really isn't a lot of noise from this crowd here.
4th and about 3, Kevin, and it looks like Mount Zion's going to go for it.
Clements over center. Big one for the Ram defense here, and only the second game of the season. Clements ready for the snap, trying to draw Newton off sides with a long snap count. Still snap counting out there, but Newton's not budging, still not budging, and now we're going to see the delay of game penalty go against Mount Zion. That's really not a bad idea on Mount Zion's part. You've got a team in the fourth quarter that wants to win at home in front of the home fans. They're going to be aggressive, try to draw them off sides, but credit discipline there.
Yeah, good play by Newton County not to jump offside. Also a good play on Jeremy Clements' part. He was kind of struggling to get back to the huddle there, and apparently they had a signal for that particular play because he didn't have time to get a signal from the sideline and just kind of did that on his own. But he is also the punter, so he's going to drop back and punt. And again, Danny Cisco is back on his own 15 to return this punt.
We've got 3:55 left now. Here's the bad news about this. If the clock expires without another point going up, it's a tie because it's a non-sub-region game. So it will be a punt here. Clements' punt was almost blocked there. That one is going to drop and go out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. It's another good punt. It took a good roll this time. The punt wasn't as good as some of the other ones in the air, but the roll is going to make it about a 33-yarder.
Good rush there by Nikita Webb to get in there and almost make a block. And that would have been a big play, and he would have been in the paper as the hero of the game. Just missed it by maybe 3 or 4 inches, but good aggressive play by Nikita Webb to get in there and try to block that punt. But this puts a lot of pressure on the offense for the Newton Rams to bring the ball down and try to get it in field position for Stephen Smith or just go ahead and cross the line and run off some of this clock.
This Newton Ram offense has been able to try to work out the kinks for 2 games now. Here's Alex Wadley. Wadley has 3-4 yards up the middle. 3 minutes, 41 seconds left, and they have 71 yards of ground left to cover. On the first play, they covered 3 or 4 of it. They can only eat up a couple of yards at a time for so long with 3:30 left now on the clock.
This is when you look for your leadership out of your seniors to take charge, and you got T.J. Harper, Richie Cleary, Danny Cisco, and also Stephen Smith, those seniors out there to get this team underway.
Cleary play action on this one. The pass is up, and it is intercepted by Todd Taylor. Todd Taylor at midfield intercepts the football that intended for James Jackson, but Todd Taylor at midfield takes the interception, and here the Newton Ram defense is really going to have to take it up to the next level.
I'll tell you what, Richie Cleary made a little bit of a mistake right there. He had an up back in the flats, and he was wide open and decided to go a little bit further down the field to Danny Cisco, which was wide open, but number 1 just came out of nowhere and made a spectacular catch right there on the mid-yardage, right there in front of Coach Cook, and no argument from Coach Cook about the catch. That was just an outstanding catch from the Mount Zion Bulldogs.
4 different Newton Ram drives have resulted in turnovers. Going to be a big factor before this one's over with. First down from the 50-yard line, and Clements is hit hard and almost brought down at the 40-yard line. Now he's going to try to rush it himself, and he makes it back to the original line of scrimmage. Now, if Chris Middlebrooks had been able to bring him down at the 40, talk about a big play, or what would have been a big play, but just escaped the grasp, and that might end up being a game-saving play.
I tell you what, Chris Middlebrooks just a little bit too aggressive on that, kind of rushed in there, had a little gang going on, a little blitz, and kind of overran Jeremy Clements. But I tell you what, Jeremy Clements is a senior. He knows exactly what's going on. He's got a lot of experience and just kind of looped around Chris Middlebrooks and was able to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
2:30 remaining now. Still tied at 22 apiece. Mount Zion with the football. Second down and about 11 yards to go from midfield. Clements didn't get a yard on that carry, but he rushed quite a ways for those 0 yards, I'll tell you that. Clements is looking to pass. It's up. St. Jake's catches the football, but he's hit immediately. He'll have the...
A reception or 2, but every pass that's been completed by Mount Zion is probably going to number 25. And again, Newton County is going single coverage with number 25, Brian St. James. So hopefully they'll correct this.
We've just gone under 2 minutes left to play here. Damian Smith is going to take it. He found a little bit of running room and tackled, tripped up and brought down at the 28. And credit Gary Brown, without whom Rams might have just picked up what would have been an L on the scoreboard. With 1:47 left, they did trip up Damian Smith, fortunately, putting the ball on the 25 now.
And again, Kevin, this is very scary. Remember we talked about early in this ball game about the field goal kicker, Daughtery from Mount Zion. He can kick the ball, and this is very scary for the Newton County Rams because not only do Mount Zion drive them, but they also have a very big weapon on number 7, the place kicker for the Mount Zion Bulldogs.
93 seconds left. First down on the 25-yard line, and Clements and his running back hit each other. There definitely was a problem on the play there after the snap, and they're going to call a timeout. Mount Zion will. Clements took the snap and immediately ran into one of his backs, and no gain on the play. In fact, a loss probably of a yard or 2. Mount Zion is going to take a timeout, and if you think we're going away, you're crazy. 22-22, 1:22 remaining in this game, and not a fan has left the stadium here. We're in for a big one, Paul Dailey.
Well, I tell you what, Kevin, I'm looking at the officials right there, and they hit Jeremy Clements in the backfield about the 29-yard line, and the head referee threw the marker out of his pocket and put it up on the 26, and that's 3 yards, and that's a big 3 yards. The play was made on the 29-yard line, but they're spotting the ball on the 26, and I don't really agree with that. I'm not one to sit here and harp on the referees, believe that, but that's a very, very liberal spot on Mount Zion's part.
And so they'll get the ball on the 26, and right now every yard makes a difference because when you've got Daughtry waiting in the wings out there, you never know what those couple of yards can do. You've seen a lot of football games decided by a lot less yardage. Jeremy Clements and the Mount Zion offense with the ball at the 26. Newton Ram defense stellar in the first game. They've had some problems in this one, but they've been able to do well at other times as well. And here is a flag on the play before Clements can even get the pass off. St. Jake's has the football, but that goes against Mount Zion. It'll knock them back 5 yards. And you talk about a huge penalty.
Marshall Thornton a little bit aggressive on that play, got a little bit of start, but he's been doing it all night. He's been getting just a little head start, and the referee finally called it. Again, I'm not going to harp on the referees. I've never done that. But it's going to back them up 5 yards. And again, Newton County has got single coverage on Brian St. Jake's, and I think that is a tremendous mistake on the defensive coaching staff for the Newton County Rams.
Ball's going to be on about the 31.5, maybe the 32-yard line. 2nd down and 16, 80 seconds is what we have left in this affair. Clements over center, Rams up close on the front. There's Damian Smith. Smith looking for something, but nothing there. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 15. That clock continues to run. Soon I think the Rams may have to take a timeout.
Big play there by T.J. Harper. We haven't called his name a lot on the defensive side of the ball, but he came up and he made a great play there on number 6, Damian Smith. He just grabbed him in the backfield and didn't allow him to get any yards. Big play. Whenever you need big plays, you got to look to your seniors, and T.J. Harper did exactly that on that play.
If you're the Rams, you hate to come out of this with a tie. You really do, but credit Coach Cook going for 2 points, without which this would have been a much different game. Of course, if he hadn't gone for 2, then you wonder what would have happened as far as after Mount Zion scored their touchdown. They might have come at it a little differently, but the 2-point conversion makes the difference. 35 seconds left. 3rd down, 15 yards to go. Mount Zion gives the football to Thornton. Thornton's helmet comes off as he gets hit at the 25. That's going to be a gain of 6 yards, but he is still well short of the 1st down. In 22 seconds, someone's got to stop that clock and stop it right now. 19, 18 seconds left, 17 seconds left. 2 timeouts for the Rams.
Looks like Newton County is going to just wait and see what the field goal kicker for Mount Zion can do. They're not going to call a timeout. Mount Zion's not going to call a timeout until it's about 3 seconds to go.
And there they do with 5.2 seconds remaining in this game. 22-22 your score. Mount Zion with 4th and 9. This game looks like it's going to rest on the right foot of Peyton Daughtry.
We talked about him in the pregame, and we said that he's hitting 42 yarders at ease. Right now, if you look at it, guess what the yardage is going to be, Kevin? If he lines up and kicks the ball, guess how far this ball is going to be? A 42-yarder. Ooh, that's not good.
42-yard field goal attempt may make the difference in this game, and it's only 5 seconds left on the clock. Rams go down in this game. If they do, on the field goal, they'll lose this one 25-22, and you'll know that Mount Zion's big playmaking on offense, one of the big reasons why Newton went down, but there were some aspects in this game that you liked for the Newton Rams and some that you didn't, but we'll get a chance to analyze all that later.
Well, look for Newton County, maybe a good idea right here to call timeout and kind of ice the kicker. I don't know if Coach Hook is going to do that, but if I was the head coach for Newton County, as soon as they got lined up to punt or to place the field goal, I believe I would call timeout.
5.2 seconds remaining. The home opener in 1992 ended in a tie here. It was 7-7 against Heritage. It was my first game here, as a matter of fact, calling Newton Ram football. And we don't see a timeout, so here it is, 42-yard attempt. Difference in the ball game. Peyton Daughtry, the kicker for Mount Zion. Here is the kick. It is up, and it is no good. And we're going to have a tie game. The clock has expired, 22-22. The kick was just wide left, Paul Dailey.
I tell you what, he had just enough distance. It was a 42-yard attempt. I tell you what, I don't really understand why Newton County didn't have a timeout there. It looks like Newton County, it looks like they may line it up and do a penetration here, Kevin.
Now, 3 years ago, when Newton and Heritage, I should say, played here at Homer Sharp Stadium, it was a non-sub-region game. 7-7 was the score. We had mass confusion at the end of the game, and when they did, the teams met at midfield, and it was called a tie game. We are going to have an overtime period, so apparently these rules have changed, folks. Extra football, more bang for your buck. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and again, Kevin, I hate to go back to that kick, but he did not make the kick. He had plenty of distance, but again, you got to use those timeouts. Maybe I'm sitting up here being an armchair quarterback, But maybe the timeouts, Coach Cook was wanting to save them for the overtime, and maybe that's what's going to happen. But usually when you go into overtime, you kind of equal everything out and everybody gets the same amount, but maybe not. I'm not really sure with the ruling here, but we're definitely going into overtime, and we've got a barn burner here in Covington, Georgia.
Barn burner is the first time I've ever heard you use that as an understatement, Paul Dailey. 22-22. What we're going to hear, we just heard it from the PA announcer, 2 5-minute halves to decide this game. So apparently they've changed the rules around a little in Georgia High School Association. Like I said, the last time this happened here at Homer Sharp, Newton and Heritage 3 years ago, and at 7-7, they called it a tie. Teams met at midfield.
You're right, Kevin. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the clock over there, and we got 5 minutes on the clock, and they've also given one timeout to each team, because Mount Zion at the end of the game only had one timeout. Newton County had two. Now Mount Zion has 2 timeouts. Newton County has 3. So apparently the timeouts go into the overtime as well.
Okay, so each team is given 1 extra timeout. So let's reset this for you, so to speak. With the score tied, we will play 2 5-minute halves. A timeout is added to each team. This means that Newton will have the advantage in timeouts. And you know, in something like this, that can be pretty big.
You're exactly right. Now, Coach Cook and the coach for the Mount Zion Bulldogs are out there talking at midfield. The referees are out there, and they're talking about what's going to happen here. The Newton County Rams are getting excited. The Mount Zion Bulldogs are over there just trying to grab a breath. But we've got excitement here, and that's what the fans pay to see. Coach Cook didn't want to see this, but I didn't want to see it. I'm sure you didn't either, but we're going into overtime here at Homer Sharp Stadium.
We're certainly most happy to bring you 2 extra quarters of Newton Ram football, but to be honest, it would have been nice just to put this one away and walk home a little bit earlier. 22-all as we go into the first overtime period. 5 minutes in each of these overtime periods. This is exactly what happened when Newton played Clark Central in '93. You remember that game. Paul, we have to talk about that game for just a moment because we've discussed it a little bit after the coach's breakfast with Coach Cook. I think this Clark Central game in 1993, of course, Clark Central, a football program with one of the biggest mystiques about them in the state of Georgia up to the last few years, came here with a team that was off from their normal team. They played those 2 overtime periods. Rams won that game, and I think that gave them some extra confidence that helped them go 7-3 last year.
Well, anytime you beat a tradition like Clark Central or or LaGrange or Valdosta or Griffin or somebody like that, that definitely gives your program momentum. This is the same. It's kind of role reversal here for Mount Zion because they would love to beat a Newton County team that was ranked in the top 10 last year. So hopefully this is not going to be role reversal. But one of the things coaches do not want to do is to go into overtime because your guys are tired, especially your two-way players. But this gives an extra boost of energy knowing that, hey, the game is on the line. We've got some extra time to regroup, and that's exactly what's happening on the sidelines on either side of the ball.
Well, the advantage, of course, is that this being a non-sub-region contest, if the Rams do come up with the loss, it will only count as far as the end record is concerned more than anything else. It won't affect a playoff berth that much. But the Newton Rams and the Mount Zion Bulldogs won't treat this as a game that doesn't matter, I'm sure. It's as big as a state championship for both of them right now, I'm sure. They are gathered around, the Newton Ram offense, I believe, is gathered around Joe Brassfield. And they are talking at about the 40-yard line. Here come 2 captains for each team. They're going to meet at the 50. We'll probably see another coin flip here.
There's a lot of other things that go on right here, Kevin. Not only do the coaches have to go out at midfield and talk about this, but the 2 principals from each respective team or each respective high school have to go out and talk. And as I look on the other sideline, one of the principal from Mount Zion is holding a yellow flag. J.W. Rutledge is over there with him holding a black or a green flag. Don't really know what that has to say. Maybe we'll figure that out. But both principals are down there on the sideline. I wonder what they're talking about.
Not sure, but you kind of have to wonder in a game situation like this what sort of matters they could be discussing. Of course, Mount Zion, a Clayton County school, so they're not really that far away here from Newton County. So who knows? Perhaps they're discussing a little trade-off of facilities or perhaps that sort of thing. You never know what you could get discussed here at a football game, especially an exciting one like this. And you got to know this Ram crowd is piqued with interest in what's happened here, a 22-22 game. And the Rams, I believe, are going to receive here to begin the first overtime period. The 5th quarter.
Now, let me ask you this, Kevin. We're both kind of wondering what in the world's going on here. What happens if someone scores first? Is the ball game over?
It is not over. In fact, the Rams did score on Clark Central, if you'll remember, and they went ahead and played those overtime periods. If no one scores, I believe it's penetration. If someone scores, that's not the end.
Okay, now I just figured out what the little flags are for the principals. The principals from each respective school go to the furthest point of penetration by either of their school. So that we've kind of just figured this out. I like doing that, figuring things out as they go. So what's happening is each principal from each respective school goes down on the sideline and goes to the furthest point of penetration from their respective schools. And if neither team scores, whoever is the furthest towards the end zone on each side of the field, that is going to be your winner by penetration.
2 hours and 25 minutes later, we begin. Yes, I'm not lying. The fifth quarter. We'll have a fifth and a sixth, the 2 overtime periods here. In fact, Paul, if you'll remember what happened in the Clark Central game, Newton scored a touchdown, got the extra point. Clark Central scored a touchdown, missed the extra point. 1 point game.
So it looks like Mount Zion is going to change their kickoff team. They're not going to try a little pooch kick. Daugherty is lined up on the 40 in midfield. Looks like he's going to kick it away like he did at the first part of the game, first of the second half.
Little extra football for you. Tied at 22 apiece, and we'll see a victor come out of this in front of the home fans. Peyton Daughtry set for the kick, and here it is. Yeah, it's back end over end, and it's going to bounce at about the 9-yard line. It's fumbled out of bounds by Watley, but he was right there close to the out-of-bounds line. No one going to touch him there. That ball may have ended up out of bounds if he'd let it bounce.
Sure would have. Ball, and it's kind of a bad break on Newton County's part because it gives Newton County 1st and 10, but they're on their own 9-yard line, so maybe Alex Watley should have let that ball go on out of the end zone and brought him back up here to the 20.
So we'll begin the clock in this first overtime. The way the points were scored in that second half, the Rams scored 8 points in the third quarter, a 1-yard run from Alex Watley, and Jonathan Price ran in the 2-point conversion. Mount Zion came across with a touchdown and an extra point in the fourth quarter. First play from scrimmage is Jonathan Price for absolutely nothing, negative yardage probably. Mount Zion closed that up in a hurry, and now it'll be second down back on the 6.
One of the things that Newton County may need to take advantage of is Stephen Smith is a lot like the Brian St. Jenks on the Mount Zion squad. He is in single coverage, and remember the big play that Stephen Smith made earlier in the fourth quarter when he made the big reception down here on the 20-yard line. Mount Zion is still in single coverage with him.
Another interesting thing, the tenths of a second have been taken off the clock, so it reads simply 4:32, now 4:31 left in the overtime period. So a little different look in overtime. Cleary looking for James Jackson, but the pass was overthrown, and will be at third down now from the 7-yard line.
It's going to bring up a long third down and about 12 yards to go. Newton County's offensive line, we haven't said this a lot tonight, but Richie Cleary has had plenty of time to step back and throw the ball. He's made a couple of mental errors. He's slipped down one time. He's overthrown a few players, but I guarantee if he can get the ball in Danny Sisko's hands, Stephen Smith's hands, James Jackson's hands, Newton County will be in good shape.
Rams rushed for 258 yards last year against Mount Zion. Here's the deal, though. Of those 258 yards, not a single one of them is out on the field. 4 of the players graduated. One of them is injured tonight, and another one I don't think is with the team anymore. So 258 yards from 6 players who are not out there. Cleary is going to look to pass. He's in his own end zone. He does get it off. Complete to Jackson at the 20-yard line. That'll be a first down. And a good vision of the field from Richie Cleary. He rolled out, and that's dangerous territory to be in, so you know Cleary's got those nerves of steel.
A really good play fake by there. He faked the draw. The coaching staff up here in the press box was yelling draw, but Richie Cleary had a good play fake, hid the ball behind him, and found James Jackson out there on the 21-yard line. And I'm telling you, if you can get it in James Jackson's hands, Stephen Smith's hands, or Danny Sisko, you're going to be successful.
First down from the Newton 21 now. 3:58 left in the first overtime period. Watley takes the football. Here's some open field. He's got a man to beat. And at the 50 now, at the 45, at the 40. St. Jakes is still with him. He's got him at the 30, at the 20-yard line. Brings him down. Alex Watley, time after time, has been able to break free. I think we may have underestimated the speed of Alex Watley. He's a fullback who's not a power fullback. He is a fullback with much more speed. How about that gain right there? 57 yards on one play.
I tell you what, Alex Watley is a tailback at the fullback line, and he's coming out, and they're bringing in 34, Roderick Henderson, to sub him out. But Alex Watley did a big play. Again, I can't mention how important Brian St. Jakes is to that Mount Zion football team. He just simply ran down Alex Watley.
Cordell Benton had a run like that 2 years ago. Benton and Watley a lot alike, and Benton's was in the overtime against Clark Central. There's Price. Now he busts through the line. There he goes. 10-5. Touchdown, Newton Rams. 22 yards, Jonathan Price. Call it 28-22 in favor of the Rams. Now, do you go for one? and go ahead and make it 29-22 because you have essentially 8:18 left now in this game.
Maybe this was the wake-up call Newton County needed. I didn't want to mention it during the game, but they were playing really lackadaisical. I mean, they tower over Mount Zion. Don't take anything away from Mount Zion. They played a heck of a ball game, but Newton County did exactly what they wanted to do here. I mean, remember, they were backed up to their own 9-yard line, and 3 or 4 plays later, they're down here kicking an extra point. So good series there for the Newton Rams.
Jonathan Price, 22-yard touchdown run. Stephen Smith, the extra point attempt, and it is good. 29-22, we're in the first overtime period. Rams on top. 3:18 left in the first overtime. More exciting Newton Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
Today, more than ever, personal safety is a real concern. With a cellular phone from East Metro Communications, help is just a phone call away. East Metro Communications, an authorized agent for AirTouch Cellular, is located at 7115 Highway 278 in Covington. Go by and let their staff help you reach your calling. That's East Metro Communications, 786-6796. Highway 278 in Covington, 786-6796.
Hey, Newton Rams fans, you probably want to go to sleep, but we're not going to go to sleep because we're in overtime here at Homer Sharp Stadium where the Newton County Rams just went up on the Mount Zion Bulldogs 29-22. We're still in the first half of the overtime. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Okay, thanks, Paul Dailey. That's right. Wake up, Newton Ram fans, football fans in general. You got a great football game here. Touchdown lead for the Rams. And this, interestingly enough, is the 25th special teams play in this game. And involved in that, we've had 9 kickoffs. This is the 9th kickoff of this game, and Stephen Smith will be the man to do that.
And the ball falls off the tee. No wind out there. Maybe Stephen didn't get a good set on the ball, but he's going to line it back up, and looks like Newton County's got a little bit of fire up under him now, leading by 7, and Stephen Smith is going to kick off.
Some big runs there, and the offense looked to establish itself and did a good job. A 58-yard kick fielded by St. Jake's at the 2. He is out to the 15, close to the 20, but that Ram defense makes the play, and look at Kelvin Thomas. After making the stop, he is firing up that defense, and that's the fire that we haven't seen in this one. The crowd has been the same way. It seems almost as if they haven't been into this game, but the Ram offense and now the defense will get a chance to step that up.
Well, it's only taken 4 quarters to get some spark under them, and that's kind of scary, especially going into some games like next week against Heritage. But they're definitely a lot more fired up, and right now the defense is looking for somebody to come back out on the field.
So the Mount Zion Bulldogs will go 1st and 10, but they're all the way back at their own 19. They have 2:52 in the first overtime period, and a timeout has been called on the field. The Newton Rams call it. We're also going to take a timeout here with 2:52 remaining in the 5th quarter, so to speak. 29-22, Rams on top. More exciting Newton Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
When you're tackling those lawn and garden chores this summer, picture yourself on a Toro Wheel Horse lawn and garden tractor. For a limited time, it's easy to buy a new tractor because you can choose from 2 terrific financing programs. Choose either no payments and no interest until October 1st, 1995, or finance your Toro Wheel Horse tractor at only 12.9% interest. No matter which plan you choose, you're guaranteed top performance with a Toro Wheel Horse tractor. But hurry, you must buy your tractor now to qualify for this great deal. Stop by Coast to Coast Home and Auto today.
Back here at Homer Sharp Stadium where we are in the 5th quarter and overtime. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Okay, Paul Dailey, also known as the Big Dog, thank you very much. It is first down from Mount Zion's 19-yard line. Everyone set to begin the Mount Zion offensive possession there. First of the overtime, 2 minutes, 52 seconds left. Rams scored on a run from Jonathan Price, 22 yards. Clements is looking to pass. It's up. It's complete. Kirk Wells makes the reception at the 35, and it takes Gary Brown to tackle him well into first down territory, close to a 20-yard passing gain.
Good play there by Jeremy Clements. I cannot speak too much. He's a great player. Also, Brian St. Jakes, and that Kurt Wells has made a couple of big receptions as well. And whenever Jeremy Clements goes back to pass, you can count on him throwing to either Kurt Wells or Brian St. Jakes, and this puts some life up under Mount Zion. They've got first down on their own 38-yard line.
I'll tell you, someone who's going to get a test tonight is the crack statistical staff. They got their work cut out for them once this one's over with. Here's Jeremy Clements once again looking for the pass. Oh, this is a long one, and it is up and incomplete. And right there on the coverage is Kelvin Thomas. And As soon as that pass goes down incomplete, Thomas was lying flat on his back and kicking his legs up in the air as if something had him down on the ground. He is excited.
Well, I tell you what, the referee back there reached for the flag because it should have been offensive interference, and the coaching staff for Newton County is sitting over here. They're hysterical over here on the sideline. The referee reached for the flag in his back pocket, but he was about to fall down himself, so he decided not to throw the flag. Good play there by Kelvin Thomas and good coverage on his part.
Well, this certainly has been a special night for everyone involved with Newton Ram football, the fans, and of course the band has gotten 6 quarters of action, as have the cheerleaders. Here comes Clements again. This time he's going to hand off to Smith. And Smith has nothing. Was the ball on the ground just then? I think it was, but I think Mount Zion also got it. And the ball's going to be back at about the 39-yard line. That'll be a gain of a yard, as a matter of fact, but it brings up 3rd down, and here's that Ram defense. After the 19-yard gain, they've held Mount Zion the last 2 plays.
Well, I guarantee you they're going to call somebody's number. It's going to be number 25. Here he comes into the ball game, and I guarantee you it's going to be a 16 to number 25, some kind of play in that nature, because there's 3rd and about 8.5 yards to go.
The man covering St. Jake's on this one is Stephen Smith, but it looks like one-on-one coverage here, Paul. Now here comes Middlebrooks kind of cheating over toward that side. Of course, we'll have to see what happens. He's standing sort of all alone out there. Yeah, here's the fake out, and the pass is up, and it is complete. Wells makes the catch for the 1st down. It was not St. Jake's. They concentrated a lot on St. Jake's, and Wells found himself open about 15 yards away from the line of scrimmage, just ran out and cut across the line, made the catch.
Same exact play that they ran earlier in this series. Straight across the middle, the tight end kind of release across the middle. That's the linebacker's responsibility or the outside linebacker's responsibility. I'm not really sure the defensive scheme that Newton is running, but looks like James Jackson was caught, Chris Middlebrooks was caught napping on that play, and brings up a 1st down for the Mount Zion Bulldogs.
Both teams have been susceptible to the big play almost all game here. 4 plays on this drive, 2 of them for 0 yards and 1 yard, another one for 19 and 1 for 15. So the big plays have been the difference. The fake pass, and this one's going to be up and deep, intended for St. Jake's, and it is incomplete. And Gary Brown deserves a tremendous amount of credit. He literally stripped that ball away from Brian St. Jake's, who is an unhappy man down there.
I tell you what, Stephen Smith looks like what we saw last Friday night. He was going up for the interception, and Gary Brown kind of fell into him and maybe knocked him off the path, but big play there, because Brian St. Jake's was almost about to make the reception after Stephen Smith had touched the ball. But I tell you what, a tired young man out there is number 25 for the Mount Zion Bulldogs. He is just kind of getting back to the huddle as we speak, but he's actually going off to the sideline. He's a tired young man.
We're in the 1st overtime period from Homer Sharp Stadium. For those of you just tuning in, I don't know why you'd be starting to tune in a football game at 10 o'clock, and just in case you are, with 49 seconds left in the 1st overtime, the Rams have put 1 touchdown across since the 1st overtime began. 29-22 your score. Taking the ball here is Marshall Thornton, and coming up and making a big hit, number 65, that of course is Britt Mask, big senior linebacker, and he's really made a difference when he's been in this game.
I tell you what, he's doing a really good job of playing that linebacker slide. Probably just had about a week of practice there at the starting position, as Patrick Gaither had gone down with an injury, but he's doing a great job. Came back from an injury of a calf muscle cramping up, but he's doing a good job out there. Senior leadership, and that's what they need.
You know, if a football team could just buy those quote-unquote cats, just imagine how many games they could win. Be a better opponent than any type of quarterback or terrific defensive back that you could find. There was a timeout called from Mount Zion, but it's going to be a quick one as they quickly come to the line of scrimmage, and Newton is gathered around their trainers and coach and so on and so forth. And Mount Zion just ready to run the play, but they'll have to wait a little while here. 42 seconds left in this 1st overtime.
What the Mount Zion offense needs to do is go back to the huddle and regroup. They've been standing at the offensive line waiting on the defense to get lined up and sitting around kind of joking and talking, and I don't know if they're joking, but they're talking and maybe a little bit out of sync here. So they should have went back to the huddle, but they're going to line up on the ball with 3rd down and about 8 to go.
The Rams going with 4 men up front, and James Jackson is about a step away from the line, now a man in motion. Clements will take the football. It is a passing play, a big-time drop, and it's a little dump pass, and there's Britt Mask at the 45-yard line. Takes down the receiver, who was Clifton Ward, the sophomore. Ward caught the football at the original line of scrimmage, and Britt Mask said, "You're not going any farther, son."
Good play there. A lot of the Newton County defensive backs were going back, playing prevent defense, and Britt Mask did exactly what he was supposed to do. Stay at home right there, right behind the line of scrimmage. Made a big play on Clifton Ward and brought him down. It's going to bring up 4th and about 9 yards, so actually that was a loss on the play.
So we talked about how the Rams defense had been susceptible to that 15, 16, 17-yard passing play. Here in the 3 plays of this drive, a total of 1-yard gain, and the horn says that the first overtime has expired. So for the Mount Zion Bulldogs, nothing that they could do here with the ball sitting on the 45.5-yard line. 29-22 your score, and I believe we're going to have a kickoff now that the Mount Zion Bulldogs will be receiving, if I'm not mistaken.
You're exactly right. What you do here, Kevin, you know how on the fourth quarter everybody raises their hand forward. What do you do here? 6? You got to use both hands there. And I see some of the players on the Newton County sidelines, they did exactly that. They raised up one hand with 5 and another one with 1. So we're no longer in the fourth quarter. We're in the 6th quarter.
That's right. Quarter number 6 of football action. Still 3 timeouts remaining for Newton and a pair of them for the Mount Zion Bulldogs. And really, despite the fact that you can look at a lot of things and say that perhaps we shouldn't be in the 6th quarter, we maybe should have been out of here in 4, you can still look at this as a growing experience for the Rams because they've had a chance to go out and play, first of all, 2 more quarters of live football against a live opponent. But another thing they've had the chance to do is to see the offense for one drive finally establish itself on a quick drive downfield. They went 91 yards in 5 plays.
That was a big-time series there, and there was only one series the Newton County Rams had. Each team had one series in that 5th quarter, and the Newton Rams drove it straight down the field. A couple of really big plays. The biggest play in that series, I think, was the pass to James Jackson that enabled them to get a first down, and, of course, the big run by Alex Watley as well.
You know, it's funny how just about every drive that's resulted in a Ram score, we talk about the big play being a pass play to a James Jackson, to a Danny Cisco, to a Stephen Smith. You have these weapons this year that you haven't had here in the past, and you've got the quarterback who's able to get the ball to them. I think it'll make a difference later in the year.
It definitely will, because I tell you what, Richie Cleary's got one of the strongest arms I've seen in a high school athlete. He doesn't have the quickness that that every quarterback usually has, but he's got a lot of power. He's got great leadership, and he's got a great arm. He's just got a really powerful arm. And whenever you have a powerful arm and you can get it out there to those receivers, that's got to be a big weapon on their part. And the biggest key to that, Kevin, is the offensive line. If Richie doesn't have time to pass it, then it's no good. So the biggest difference from this game and last week's game, there's a lot of difference, but one of the biggest difference on Newton County's positive side is the offensive line has done a great job of protecting Richie Cleary.
A man who's very knowledgeable about football calls it the line surge. We heard him mention that last week, and that's exactly what they've gotten here in the key situations. Stephen Smith is, frankly, probably getting tired of midfield. The 4th time this game he's gone out there as a captain to meet with the Mount Zion captains, and I'm sure they know pretty much everything about each other's families and previous experiences and so on.
Talking about what they're going to do on Saturday night. And, hey, let's just meet halfway in between at McDonough, because that's about halfway between Mount Zion and Covington. I doubt that's what they're talking about, but I like to see this is what high school sports is all about. Principals out there in the ball game. Again, the ball falls off the tee for Stephen Smith. But this is what high school football is all about, and the people who paid to get in here tonight have definitely got their money's worth.
Most certainly, 6 quarters of football, and maybe those captains at midfield were talking about Big Dog's picks. You know, they've had time to think about it. Stephen Smith's kickoff bounces at the 20-yard line, and Brian St. Jakes is going to run this one all the way back in, and it's going to fall into the end zone. And for a brief moment, I think Brian St. Jakes had thoughts of picking that ball up on about the 1 or 2, and something inside him stopped himself, and probably at exactly the right time.
I tell you what, he must be living right, because that ball was about to die on the 1-yard line, and he had nothing but a blue wave coming straight at him. But luckily, maybe a wind or something came up and pushed it just enough into the end zone. I tell you what, a freshman or sophomore player is not going to make that call. I've said a lot about number 25 out there, a real smart player, and he's kept Mount Zion in this ball game.
So the Bulldogs start their drive on their own 20. Paul, I keep track of special teams plays with letters, and that being the 26th, we're out of letters. That's Z right there, ladies and gentlemen.
They're much on defense tonight, but a little bit aggressive. He's got probably a little bit more legs than the other guys going both ways out there, and was just a little bit aggressive on that pass coverage, and it's going to give Mount Zion a big break, and it's going to be 15 yards, and it's going to give Mount Zion a 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line.
First penalty yards of the overtime, they go against the Newton Rams. They also had another penalty back in the 3rd quarter for 15 yards and a couple in the first half as well. So with the 15-yard penalty, now on the 35-yard line. And again, a first down here for Mount Zion, and Clements looking for the deep pass, and he's hit and sacked. The man who brings him down, it looked like Habeas White. It was Habeas White, the right tackle, along the defensive line. And the offensive line actually gave Jeremy Clemens quite a bit of time to pass, but Habeas White closed the gap right at the right moment.
I tell you what, he just came out of nowhere. I saw T.J. Harper. He was real close. Emilio Reed was real close. Greg Benson was real close. And I was kind of wondering who was going to make the sack, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, number 56, Habeas White just nails Jeremy Clemens and brings him down for a big loss.
4 minutes, 16 seconds left in this game. We can say that for sure now. 29-22 your score. Man in motion. Clemens goes and looks for St. Jake's and intercepted. Danny Cisco has the football and he flips it. And down at the 20-yard line, he flipped the ball to Britt Mask, as a matter of fact. So Danny Cisco with the interception. He was about to be brought down, still up for a moment. Kind of flipped the ball over to Britt Mask. There's a lot of celebration, and you know they've got to be happy, but I have a feeling a couple of people might see some words from the coaching staff after that little celebration.
Oh, yeah. Coach Coggins went right over there to Danny Cisco and said, son, that was a great reception, but don't ever do that again. But it was a safe play. I mean, it really was. You don't like to see your athletes do that, but Danny made the reception. He was being dragged down by his ankles, and Brett Mask was there to just right behind him, so it was a great pitch back. Again, you don't want your players doing that, but a little bit of excitement out here.
Here's your chance now with Richie Cleary to really ice this one, and Watley will take the ball on first down, and the Mount Zion defensive line isn't going to let him go anywhere on a first down play.
Richie's looking over the coaching staff and saying, he took it away from me, he took it away from me. On that option play, you ride the fullback and see if there's a read there. Apparently Richie Cleary didn't want to give it to Alex Watley, but he went ahead and took it anyway and didn't get any yardage on the play.
So second down and 10 now from the 20-yard line. 3:28 remaining. This has certainly been an exciting affair. Nearly start to finish. It was a one-point game at halftime. Mount Zion had the lead at that point. Cleary fakes the handoff this time, and he got hit hard. Brought down about the 22-yard line, looking for something on the corner, looking to find someone downfield, but he was hit there by Marshall Thornton, who has been playing on both sides of the ball.
Good read there by Richie Cleary. He kind of got stuck there at the line of scrimmage, and he could. A lot of people are probably wondering why he didn't pitch it back, but a good decision on him because Jonathan Price was back there, but also another Mount Zion defensive player, and good decision on Richie Cleary's part of not just taking the ball and going to the ground.
And with 3:13, a timeout is taken. Joe Brasfield is out talking with his Newton Ram offense. We'll be back. More exciting Newton Rams football after this on WGFS AM 1430.
Where can you find the best entertainment on television? On HBO, on Covington Cable TV. HBO features the best in box office movies, the best original movies, the best in entertainment. For HBO, call Covington Cable TV at 385-2044. For the best in movies, the best in entertainment, it's HBO. Call Covington Cable TV, 385-2044. 385-2044.
3 minutes and 13 seconds in the sixth quarter and overtime. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
That Paul Dailey didn't lie to you, folks. It really is. It's the second overtime period. You can call it the sixth quarter. Third down, 11 yards to go. Newton is on the Mount Zion 21-yard line. Richie Cleary is going to give to Alex Watley, and Watley eludes a couple of tacklers, but there were just too many white jerseys out there, and he's going to lose 3 yards. And now the Rams have a serious decision to make with the ball on about the 26-yard line. You're looking at an attempt, a long attempt, and Stephen Smith attempted a field goal of about this length not long ago and hit the ball on the 5, 15 yards away from the field goal post.
Well, I don't think it's, in my opinion, if you try a field goal here, the ball is going to come back to the 20-yard line. The only thing you're going to lose is 5 yards, so why not attempt it, in my opinion? Then again, if you go for it, you're going to run some time off the clock, and Mount Zion has 0 timeouts left. So a decision to be made by Coach Cook and his coaching staff. It looks like that Newton County is just going to maybe try to go for it here on 4th and about 14, just to run some of the time off the clock.
Marcos Candelaria goes off the field. He is the man who was down for Mount Zion. They had to burn a timeout there, so they have none remaining. And with 3:03 left, we see Richie Cleary and Stephen Smith as a wide receiver. This means they're going for it. 4th and 15. Now, if they complete this and they can make the first down here, they can pretty much ice this game. Otherwise, though, Mount Zion has a serious shot. Now, here comes the pass. It is up and incomplete. Very close to Danny Cisco, but overthrown by just a little, and Cisco couldn't quite get his hand on it.
I'm going to disagree with that call there, Kevin. 4th and about 15. Mount Zion has no timeouts. Why not just go ahead and run a sweep, keep the ball in play, let time run off the clock? Instead they run a fast play, stop the clock. Don't agree with that call.
This certainly would have allowed some more time to go off, and with 2:54 and the way that the Mount Zion offense has been able to move the ball at times down the field, have to wonder why you give them that extra amount of time. Of course, they can move it down in nearly no time, but giving them 20 or 30 extra seconds certainly cannot help if you're the Newton Rams. 2:54 left. Rams up by a touchdown. Jeremy Clements.
If the game stopped, if Mount Zion was happening to score right here, I think Newton County would win by penetration.
They're moving the chains. Now the chains are set firmly and in place. 1st and 10 from Mount Zion's 25. And finally we hear a little feisty crowd here this evening.
The head referee was over there trying to line up J.W. Rutledge on the line, the marker for the penetration, so that's what he was doing.
So now with that out of the way, here comes Mount Zion in their offense, and Clements being hurried. This one is up, and it's going to be complete. St. Jake's takes it at the 40. He's brought down. Did I see a flag at the 31-yard line? Yeah, one was thrown. So we'll look and see what that was. Otherwise, we have a complete pass to Bryant St. Jake's, who's close to midfield, but have to check the yellow flag.
No, I really was. I was watching the quarterback. He went back to pass, and looked like Emilio Reed brought him down with some heavy pressure. I really wasn't watching what was happening on the 31-yard line. We're waiting to see what the referee's going to call here.
And he looks toward us and calls it against the Newton Rams, and it was declined, which means that St. Jake's completion to the 42-yard line will stand, a 17-yard pass completion, and here come the Mount Zion Bulldogs.
The call was a defensive holding against the Newton Rams, and of course the Mount Zion coaching staff decided to decline the ball after a big reception by Brian St. Jake's, and it gives Mount Zion 1st and 10 on their own 43.
2 minutes, 47 seconds left now as they drive downfield. Clements once again looks for a man, and it is complete. Kirk Wells at midfield. James Jackson tackles him at the 45-yard line. 2:37 left, and the clock continues to tick down.
This is where your defense needs to just kind of take their time getting back to the line of scrimmage. The referee kind of threw the ball, and that stops the clock until they get repossession of it. And I tell you what, Mount Zion is driving right down the field on Newton County.
They're at the Newton 43 now, 1st and 10. 2 minutes, 31 seconds left. Jeremy Clements looking for a man. There's already a flag here. We have a pass complete and a great hit from Stephen Smith, but it may all be for naught. And Britt Mask looking toward the sideline, motioning to the coaches that he believes the call is holding against the defense. Of course, you do know that sometimes defensive players can be a little optimistic. I should say he was calling holding against the Mount Zion offense.
Right. Whenever you see that flag laying right there, it's probably going to be holding. However, Stephen Smith got away with some holding of his own. He was holding Brian St. Jake's over there, and Brian St. Jake's kind of wiggled loose and made the reception, but he paid for that reception because Stephen Smith nailed him. But looks like Stephen Smith got the worst of that end because he's over there on the sideline. He's moving around. Looks like he may have got his bell rung. He looks like he's going to be okay. But they got the coaching staff over there looking at him at this time.
Emilio Reed, number 59, who is a left tackle on defense for the Rams, was right next to the officials when they made the call against Mount Zion. And Emilio came down with the left arm at the same time the officials did and emphatically pointed it against Mount Zion. Now, we saw Emilio this morning on the coach's breakfast, and here is a very quiet young man with glasses, and he's got some build to him, but he really wasn't a very vocal person. But out there on the field, that's a different person.
Oh yeah, you turn into this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde out there. You can be one person then to another. That's kind of like the way I am. I'm a very soft-spoken person, but when I got out there on the field, I turned into a different person, and I miss those days, and good gracious, I wish I could put my uniform on now and go out there and help them out. But I believe those cats might jump on my calves as well. I'm not in the best of shape.
You haven't quite had the training that these kids have had here for...
No 2 days for me.
Well, the 15-yard penalty will go against Mount Zion, knock them back to their own 41. Meanwhile, Stephen Smith, who put a great hit on St. Jake's and got kind of shaken up himself. 6 quarters of football action has really got to take its toll on you, and I have a feeling that Monday this Rams team probably won't be practicing.
I tell you what, he took a hard hit, and Stephen's been out there on both sides of the ball, so you're talking about a lot of time out there on this field, and probably got his bell rung. He looks like he's okay. He's struggling a little bit off the field, and the paramedics are down there and the coaching staff, and they're going to take good care of him. Trying to look and see who's coming in. Number 81 for the Newton Rams. Number 81 is Jarvis Johnson, 11th graders, filling in for Stephen Smith at this point.
Johnson is very quick, but also very small at 156 pounds. This time they go with the handoff, and they go to Clifton Ward. Ward has some gain, but you've got to remember it's first down and
200 miles.
That's right. It really is. It literally is.
From here to Florida.
It's not a bad trip to think of right about. Actually, we have to wait till after the Georgia-Tennessee game before we think about that.
Oh, don't talk about Florida.
Second down from the 47-yard line. Jeremy Clements going to look for a man here on second down, and that pass is complete. A nice catch out there, the 45-yard line. Was that Wells that made the catch? I think it was. It sure was. Kirk Wells, the sophomore tight end. We have heard a lot from him, and he really made a good catch there.
It seems to me like if you wear the number 80 on your uniform, you got hands of Velcro, and same way with Danny Cisco on the Newton side, same way as Kirk Wells on the Mount Zion side.
Well, they've gained 14 yards, but still a long, long ways to go. And this time, the ball at the 45-yard line may have been a fumbled snap because the ball's just sitting there on the 44 and really no action on that play. We'll see exactly what happens here, and a timeout, I believe, has been called.
That's one of the things I guarantee you Newton will practice in this next week is fumble recoveries. I mean, Mount Zion has put the ball on the ground several times tonight, and Newton County has yet to come up with one, I don't think. The ball, what happened right there is Jeremy Clements mishandled the snap. The ball was on the ground rolling around, and Newton County did not recover. And that's one of the things Coach Cook's probably going to have to do a little bit of instructing on this next week is to learn how to jump on that football.
Minute 19 now is what's left on the clock, and a timeout has been called. Now, the scoreboard read that Mount Zion did not have a timeout. It may have been a missed call by the referee. It may have either been Newton or perhaps the officials that took the timeout, or maybe the scoreboard was a timeout off.
You're right, and they did definitely show 0 timeouts, but they allowed a timeout for Mount Zion. And of course, if you call a timeout with no timeouts, it's a 15-yard or I think maybe a delay of game call. But apparently Mount Zion had a hidden timeout that we weren't aware of.
Either that or they've pulled off the Chris Webber rule to perfection. Webber couldn't get away with it.
No, not being on national television and the implications that game had, national championship, no Chris Webber tonight.
Even though he tried, couldn't get away with it.
I don't think he'll ever live that down.
You also have to wonder when it's time for him to call a timeout how he reacts.
Not me, Coach.
Fourth down from Newton's 44. Oh, by the way, a minute 18 left here. That pass is up. Was it complete? If it is, it's a first down. Incomplete. He was out of bounds when he caught the football. This means the Rams have the football, a minute 14 left. And barring some kind of miracle, we may see finally the end of this thing.
I'll tell you what, that ball was thrown out of bounds, but number 25, Brian St. Jakes, made the reception. He was out of bounds, but I tell you what, he's a whale of a ball player. Mount Zion's got a jewel in him in that uniform of number 25. I tell you what, I'd take 11 of him any day to be on my football squad.
Now here goes Joe Brasfield from the Newton sideline as the Rams take a timeout. He goes out to talk with the Newton Ram offense, and with a minute 14 left in this game and the Rams up by a touchdown with the ball on the 44, and at least for our indication that Mount Zion doesn't have a timeout left, wouldn't you think Coach Brasfield would have pretty simple instructions here?
I believe I'd just tell number 14, Richie Cleary, take the snap, run straight behind your center, and just fall on the ground. I mean, there's nothing that Mount Zion can do unless they've got one of those hidden timeouts that we're not aware of. Pretty sure they don't have any timeouts left, but don't know if I would hand it back to Jonathan Price or Alex Wally, simply because those guys are tired. They've been hit all night long. They've had a couple of fumbles tonight, both of them. So I believe I just keep the ball in my seniors' hands. The quarterback just lunge forward and work some of this time off the clock.
Well, the Rams will certainly gain a lot of character from this. There are a lot of good things you can point to in this game, and I think most of them are on the offensive side of the football. We knew that Mount Zion could score points. This is a team that passed for just about the most yardage against us last year with the exception of Berkmar, so we knew this team had this potential, but not to take us 6 quarters. I think the Rams were caught by surprise. Here's Richie Cleary. He goes back 4 or 5 yards and down on one knee.
That's definitely not what you want to do. You don't want to go back 4 yards. Just go ahead and take the snap, go down to your knee. You don't go back 4 yards, because if he does that 3 plays, he's going to be back 12 yards, and that's not what you want to do. But the clock is winding down. We're looking at 55 seconds and continue to run off.
Well, barring a miracle, the Rams will move to 2-0, but in heart-stopping fashion. Tell me we haven't had 2 cardiac games, you could call them. And the Rams may have another one next week against Heritage up at Reed Stadium. Rams go to Reed Stadium twice this year. They'll take on the Heritage Patriots and the Rockdale Bulldogs up there. And Cleary back to the 35, another 4 yards back.
That's something that I'm telling you, he needs to go to his knee as quick as possible, because if one of those defensive linemen runs across and slaps the ball out of his hand, you got a different ball game, especially going back 4 yards each play. So I'm not really sure what's going on here with the coaching staff. I mean, they know that they work more than I do on coaching, so I'm not going to sit here and criticize them. I've done enough of that tonight, but the time's running off. We've got 9 seconds remaining, and it looks like the game is going to be over with, Kevin, finally.
5 seconds, 4 on the clock, 3, 2 seconds, now 1. The clock has run out, and the Newton Rams in overtime have picked up the win over the Mount Zion Bulldogs. Your final score, the Newton Rams 29, the Mount Zion Bulldogs 22. We can breathe. We're going to come back here in just a couple of minutes and wrap things up and have the mess of the statistical game of the year.
You've got your work cut out for you, Kevin.
That's right. When we come back, we'll try to sort it out for you here. You're listening to exciting Newton Ram football right here on WGFS AM 1430.
Hello?
Hello?
Morning, sir.
Where are you?
I'm still undercover eating breakfast at Shoney's.
I sent you there hours ago to find out why everyone goes to Shoney's for breakfast instead of my restaurant.
I think it's Shoney's all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, sir.
You think?
Well, I'm only halfway through the 40 delicious breakfast items.
Shoney's breakfast bar features 40 items?
All you care to eat, sir.
No.
At one very low price.
No.
Everything from freshly prepared favorites like scrambled eggs, pancakes, bacon, sausage, to tasty surprises like real buttermilk biscuits and real sticky buns, sir.
Come back, Ludlow. We've got work to do.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry?
I'm so impressed with their all-you-care-to-eat breakfast bar, I got a job at Shoney's.
But you're my best busboy.
Shoney's is my destiny.
But, son...
See you, Dad. Tell Mom all right, okay?
Okay.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Paying for insurance in a lump sum every 6 months or each year can be a hassle and a strain on your budget. With an auto owner's insurance flex bill plan, you can consolidate all your personal insurance premiums into one easy-to-handle monthly payment. With the flex bill plan from auto owners, you'll never feel the sting of an annual premium. See your no-problem auto owner's insurance agent.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street, Southeast, in Covington. Or call 786-9213. Your auto owner's agent.
Auto owners, the no-problem people.
Charles Evans Nissan would like to remind you the summer's almost over, and so is the opportunity to get sizzling savings on specially selected vehicles. Stop in for a test drive before the sun sets on this super sale. A 1994 Nissan pickup, only $10,995. Red hot deals on cars ranging from an 88 Honda CRX to a 95 Nissan Maxima and dozens more. Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Iris Drive off exit 41 in Conyers, 922-7600.
If you're a serious sports fan and you crave serious sports talk, then you need to tune in to WGFS AM 1430 each and every Saturday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. for Sports Source Weekly. Todd Q. Chapman and Kevin Holden will be taking your phone calls. We'll be discussing sports topics on the professional level, the collegiate level, and on the local high school level. That's Sports Source Weekly, heard every Saturday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. with Todd Q. Chapman and Kevin Holden right here on Newton County's Source for Sports, WGFS AM 1430.
A money market account from Newton Federal is where smart money goes to live. Money that earns top rates while being instantly available with some transaction limitations. Put your money to work, real work, with a Newton Federal money market account today. Newton Federal Savings and Loan, FDIC insured.
It's Ace Paint Days going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square in Covington. Check out these great buys. Ace 5-star flat latex wall paint, only $10.97 a gallon. Ace 5-star semi-gloss latex enamel, only $12.97 a gallon. And check out these prices for an 8-ounce Elmer's Glue All or Carpenter's Wood Glue or 5-minute epoxy or contact cement, only $1.47 each. And don't forget the Krylon Market Spray Paint, only $1.99. It's Ace Paint Days going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square in Covington.
We are back from Homer Sharp Stadium where the Newton Rams have picked up the overtime victory. They've beaten the Mount Zion Bulldogs 29-22 and sent a ton of folks home happy. It really was a good crowd out here, Paul Dailey, and you love to see that. First game here in 1995 in the home opener. You like to see that big crowd come out here and support the Newton Rams. They were kind of quiet through some crucial parts of the game, but when it's all said and done, 7 points up on the scoreboard can't hurt in your attendance in the future games this year.
You're right, Kevin. I guarantee you, what we've seen tonight, we've seen two different ball games. We saw one ball game that lasted 4 quarters, and it kind of was just one of those go through the motions kinds of, I hate to say that, but go through the motion kind of a game. Then all of a sudden, when the 2 overtime periods came into effect, not only did the Newton Rams get excited, they also the fans here on this side of the ball field got excited as well, and I think that's really what helped the Rams pull out a victory here 29-22 against a strong Mount Zion team.
Certainly was a game of big plays, big play after big play for both teams. Here's how it finished up for the Newton Rams. They pick up 311 yards on the ground in the 6 quarters on 41 plays on the ground. Some of the big rushing plays in the first half. We had a 42-yard touchdown run from Alex Watley. We had a 55-yard touchdown run from Jonathan Price, and then they both put something in the first overtime. Watley 57 yards, and not the TD, I'm sorry. It set up the 22-yard run from Price. That was the 3rd touchdown that the Rams scored. The other one they scored was a 1-yard run from Alex Watley, so they split the touchdowns. They did, Alex Watley and Jonathan Price here in this game, 2 apiece, and that's exactly what led the Rams to the win. Now, as far as the passing game is concerned, Newton Rams had 98 passing yards total. They were 5 out of 13, so in excess of 400 yards total offense, a little better than 34.
Yeah, exactly right. And I was a little surprised. I thought we were going to see more passing attempts, but the passing attempts opened up the running game for Jonathan Price and Alex Watley. And my hat goes off to Alex Watley because he was called in to do something probably he wasn't expected to do with the injury of Patrick Gaithers, to come in and play. And not only did he play, but he played extremely well. Got to do a little bit of work on his carrying the ball as far as not fumbling it, but overall he did an excellent job. Jonathan Price, a youngster back there, he showed a lot of people some speed and quickness that he has. So overall, a big improvement from last week's offensive output. 400 yards compared to 36 or 34. I tell you what, I'm really proud of the Rams. I'm proud of the way they came out here in the overtime period and took a step forward and really punished the Mount Zion Bulldogs.
You know, you can talk about the people like Jonathan Price and Alex Watley and so on and so forth, but something you have to look at is key passes. Now, the Rams didn't even have 100 yards passing in this game. However, every time they completed one of those 10-yard passes, 12-yard passes, 15-yard passes, helped to set up a score every time. They completed key passes time in and time again, and that really was the difference for the Rams. You can talk about the big runs, but the passing game helped to set up the big runs from both Price and Watley.
Well, the Newton Rams are going to definitely have to find a way to get the ball in 12, Stephen Smith, number 80, Danny Cisco, and number 45, James Jackson's hands. Those guys are very tired. They're playing both ways, but you've got to get it in their hands. When you get the ball in their hands, a lot of excitement happens. Whenever they had to have a key play, that's exactly who they went to. So those are 3 key players, and and that just loosens up the backfield for Jonathan Price and also Alex Watley and gives Richie Cleary. But we haven't mentioned the offensive line. Those guys did a tremendous job. I don't think one time Richie Cleary was sacked, and that just gives a lot of credit to the offensive line. They did a wonderful job of giving him plenty of time to set up and make the throws.
Now, if you're a defensive coach, if you're the folks in charge of the defense like Kevin Benke, and you've got to face Heritage, a team that put 42 points on the board last Friday, what do you say?
Well, I'll tell you what, they got to make some adjustments, just like the offensive side of the ball did last week. You held the Mount Zion to 22 points, but yeah, I think that's way too many points to allow to Mount Zion. Next week, when they face a tougher Heritage team, they're going to have to make some adjustments. One of the key players they're missing is Patrick Gaither. Maybe they can get him healed and back out there. He's one of the strongest players on the football team. Maybe they can get him back out there and healthy. But they've got to make some adjustments, and it's just one of the things you got to do. Chris Middlebrooks did a good job James Jackson did another outstanding job, and I'm really impressed with the front three, Emilio Reed, Havius White, and also Greg Benson. They did a great job up front, but some adjustments are going to have to be made, and I'm sure the coaching staff from Newton County will do that.
And they'll have the chance to put that in action next Friday, and you've got to know that there's a lot to work on in practice. But we know this much. The offense can establish itself, and hopefully against the better teams it will establish itself in 95. The Rams will take on the Heritage Patriots next Friday at Reed Stadium. First of two games that the Rams will play there. They'll play in Week 3 and Week 6 at Reed Stadium. Heritage is first up, though, and it is the next to last non-sub-region game. We've got two more games of this, Paul, in sub-region time.
Yeah, you're right, and we're looking forward to it. I know Coach Cook is taking advantage of these games that lead you into the sub-region to take advantage and learn what you need to do to get ready. And I tell you what, I can't speak enough about the coaching staff. They make great adjustments. They made a great adjustment at halftime, and I'm really proud of the Rams and looking forward to next Friday night. And for you people who are still awake, if you wake up in the morning around 7 o'clock, come on over to the Old Sharp, the new police department. We're having our 12th annual Fuzz Run for a good cause. We've got some great T-shirts to give away. So if you're still awake, get up early and come on over there and do a little fun run with us. We're going to have a 5K, which is 3.1 miles a run. Hey, who knows? You may win it. And we'd like to welcome everybody that's in Covington and Newton County area to come on out there and participate with us, and we're going to have a good time tomorrow morning.
I'll tell you this much, between the Fuzz Run and the game here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here between Newton and Eastside 9th grade, and also what they're doing over at the high school helping to build the bleachers, I think you keep yourself pretty busy on a Saturday.
Not only that, you get to listen to 14:30 to the sports talk. You get to listen to the trivia show with Bill Dolan. I tell you what, there's plenty to do in Covington, Georgia on Saturday, September 9th, 1995.
That's exactly right. We'll be bringing you Sports Source Weekly with Todd Q. Chapman and myself from 10 to 12, and don't tell me we won't have a lot to talk about from this game.
And I tell you what, I know you guys are going to look forward to it. I'm going to tune you in. I'm going to be over there at the Fuzz Run, but I'm going to have that Dare van cranked up to AM 1430, listen to what you guys have to say. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I just got to get home and get some sleep.
That's right. Well, hopefully if you get near a phone, we'll hear from you tomorrow. Now, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for our executive producer, Todd Q. Chapman, and also for Paul Dailey, Kevin Holden reporting from Homer Sharp Stadium. Your final score this evening in 6 quarters, yes, in overtime, it was the Newton Rams 29, Mount Zion Bulldogs 22. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to exciting Newton County Rams football on WGFS AM 1430. Ram football on WGFS is brought to you by Bulldog Tire, Coast to Coast Home and Auto, Covington Cable TV, Newton Federal Savings and Loan, Mayfield Ace Hardware, the Bank of Covington, East Metro Communications, Ludy's Sports Shop, Shoney's Restaurant, Steele Jones Insurance Agency, and Charles Evans Nissan. The executive producer of Ram Football is Todd Q. Chapman. Join us again next Football Friday for live coverage of Newton Rams football. You'll find it only right here on Covington and Newton County's sports leader, WGFS AM 1430.